Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Off-Label Podcast. It is your weekly dose of sanity in an insane world. Tonight, we have a very special episode for you. We're going to be talking about the border again, of course. We also have a military veteran who feels like he needs to speak out about what's going on, and he wants to speak his mind about that. We also have a little bit of a sketchy situation here. There was a hearing about CCP hacking, and it was incredibly telling. And I will give the link to you all, so you all can sit down and watch it. I just went over it on Voice of the People channel right before we started doing this, but you need to listen to it because it is incredibly telling and scary all at the same time. We're going to go through one little section of that itself because it's stupid. It's incredibly stupid. And the second question is actually telling. It's very telling. We also have, of course, immigrants were attacking New York police, and somehow they have absolutely no charges on them. The dude that was getting a little bit of butt action in the Senate, no charges on him as well. And on Rumble only, we will be going through a little bit of a clip from a PBS documentary. Apparently, the J6 committee was all for show, and they've just admitted it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Woo! All right, and of course, we got the troublemaker with us. How you doing, Davey?
What up, folks? How's it going? How's everybody's week? I hope you had a wonderful week. I had a fucking tremendous week, folks.
At least one of us did.
I had a fucking tremendous week.
What happened?
You did. You really did.
Can I play the video?
I mean, if you want to.
I want to play the video. Okay.
Can you?
Wait, where is it? Come on.
Right on cue as I
Every
say
time,
can
it
you.
never fails. Off label never goes correctly right off the bat.
Listen, it's
Even when I had Ashley here, it never happened.
listen. I understand that, and we can never get. It's two things. Hi, I'm Jackie. Hi, I'm Davey, and welcome to the weekend hangover. Without fail, that's all we say. We start the week of hangover on Sunday. Without fail, it's
Yeah.
I'm Jackie and I'm Davey. Are you gonna say it or am I gonna say it? I'll say it, Jackie. Welcome to the weekend hangover, and without fail. By the way, let's introduce our guest first before I play the video.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan. What? I don't even know. I call you Ryan. It just seems weird not to call you Purple Ryan.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, at this point, I mean, Purple Ryan pretty much is stuck. But how's it going, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, little quick about me. 8 years in the military in the Navy. Was a heavy equipment operator for the first 3. The last 5, I was a defensive tactics instructor with the NCG-1 out of Port Hueneme, California. Served 1 tour in Afghanistan. Came back, unfortunately hurt, but recovered, rehab, back to full health, and yeah, finished out my career. Had a child and had to make a decision. Thankfully, I got out right at the right time before the virus came out and the whole Navy went upside down, the military included. So yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, not a problem. Let's get it out the way. Stripper pole. What the hell?
You were holding that one in, were you?
I was. You mentioned it, man.
It
Not
was
me.
I'm a bit of a thrifter and a collector and an entertainer on the old TikTok. At Ryan is Purple on TikTok. It was actually a gift, but it was like an asked if you want this as a gift. By my mother.
It's from his mom. Danny
Yeah.
Want to say hi to Baby Viking, Manda, Tori, Danny. Hi guys, welcome in.
Ooh. What's going on,
yeah.
everybody? We also got Polar Bear over there in Rumble and Rhino as well.
Appreciate
You
it.
gotta,
Alright.
you gotta mingle the Rumble chat with this one.
Dude, I'm actually thinking about using
that
Rumble
up.
Studio instead of StreamYard because
Really?
I can grab everything all at once and we
Oh,
can
Rumble's
start
got a
just
studio
on-
now.
Yeah. It's kind of like StreamYard. It's the exact same thing, except I can bring over Rumble Chat and show it too.
If you do not follow Ryan on TikTok, which I mean, the whole chat follows Ryan on TikTok. He's very entertaining, very lively. He's a fun dude. It's just when you see Ryan, especially at 4 or 5 in the morning, and you're just like, and then you just hear,
Oh, is that shit too?
Ryan just runs around with a sword
That is me. That is
like
me.
a giant child, and you're like, this looks like fun.
I
wanna
travel
run around.
with a sword. That sword has gone to Louisiana and the Keys, man.
Davey went
I-
to Nashville for his birthday, and I live close to Nashville, so me and my wife went up there, and
Oh my god.
they were
Yeah.
good. They were doing their little TikTok lives every once in a while, and I'm sitting in the background, like just watching this shit from their side of the camera. What the hell?
So when we were on the live, me and Delts, we were running around this island, doing the Jack Sparrow, and Rich is just sitting there, baffled, like, what the fuck are these guys doing? And like he like gives me this look, like, Davey, what the fuck are you? What do you? And I'm just like, yeah, we run around for coins, and he's just like, I'm in Idiocracy. What the fuck?
That's pretty.
When
much,
people
yeah.
give me that look that I'm retired from the Navy medically, but I'm full time on TikTok and a full time or half time dad. They look at me and it's like I'm just trying to explain them Egyptian hieroglyphics. Dude. It's just like so I run around and act like a dumbass on live. But why? What do you talk about? What do you do? What do you do? Do you play music? Do you sing? I'm like a little bit of everything. Like just come
It's
watch
whatever.
it, dude. It's like I'm bipolar as shit. You're gonna get whatever I'm in the mood for.
Ryan, I do have to say, Ryan is one of the most creative people on fucking TikTok, because you never know. This morning, all of a sudden, he got a baby lion, and I turn for 2 seconds. I come back, and Ryan is in a baby lion suit, and he's just like, "Thanks for the baby lion, yeah!" And I'm just like, I'm like, I
fell out of my
love-
chair too, dude. I hit the floor hard.
Well, I mean, last week I was in a green screen suit, so all you saw
Yeah.
was headphones.
I
and a
saw
microphone.
that. I was watching that for a while, trying to like.
And then I came back in a rake suit, and Davey's like, "I'm doing a show with a madman. What the fuck's happening?"
This
Listen,
house is like a Pee-wee's Playhouse, dude. I got costumes and props for days, like Carrot Top's, like long lost brother or some shit. I don't know.
It's great. He's got his daughter's pictures all over. He's like, I don't even know what this is. Can somebody just like tell me what she drew here? Yeah.
It's both gruesome. It's kind of like sci-fi.
It looks like
Maybe-
somebody's bent over being decapitated, or it looks like they got their head up their ass, and there's a
What is the
Or,
blue thing?
or if you're a Star Wars fan, we're looking at an ATT coming at you and one just down. Just, you know, I don't know, dude.
What are the
She's
blue
creative.
things? They look like giant penises.
We're not gonna go any further. She's sick.
I think you need to get some therapy for your kid.
Oh, dude, trust me. I already know. I've already looked at her. I'm like, just wait till you're 18. You're gonna look at me and be like, Dad, why?
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this real quick. Of course, this is a little bit of old information here. We've had this actually set up for this was literally right after the show last week that Davey started sending me some things to put up here. So might as well just throw it up here. Of course, it says, do you support the National Guard erecting barbed wire at southern border against Joe Biden's orders? If yes, I will follow you back. The mainstream media does not want you to share this. And of course, all right, there's that little bit of information.
What's with the Chinese writing though on the fucking Did
All
you notice
shipping-
that?
all
On the
shipping
shipping
containers.
Shipping
All of them.
containers come from China all day, dude.
Yeah.
And Texas has one of the largest export port yards.
I don't
on
think
the
I
golf
trust
course.
barbed wire from China.
That's the thing that's been driving me nuts the most is the news uses the term razor wire so aggressively. And what it is, it's catch wire. It's Constantina wire.
Yeah.
And what it's supposed to do is channel you and go, don't walk into me, dumbass. Walk that way or walk that way. Like when we were in defensive tactics, like literally, it's for also safety purposes. We never mess with razor wire in the training field, but out in the field we would. But razor wire is the very top level. If you're building a snowman, it's Constantina wire. What it is just a flat piece with like maybe a small hook on each end to catch the strings in your shit. And then that way, if you get caught in it, then you're like, "Ugh," and that's what it is. Now, like, if it's actual razor wire, like you're getting slashed and cut, like you're getting a knife fight, like that.
Right.
That'll be the bright, shiny stuff that you would put on top of the boxes. Because if you've climbed that far over Constantina wire, you've gone too far. Like you're making a legit effort to try to enter in somewhere you're not supposed to, and that's logical. Right. It's logical. It's like,
of course,
okay, stay. This whole border thing's been driving me nuts. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut off the story or anything like that.
No,
you're good.
Just jump in.
Due process, man. Like that's the thing that's been driving me nuts. It's like people are battling back. Should we we should let them all in? It's just the right human thing to do. And it's like, I get your thought, but like that one guy who's like, you will know who I am. I saw you guys talk about that too on your other podcast or on your other live. And it's like, we have no idea at this point with this, since this administration has jumped in, we have zero idea who's here. And I don't have a problem with it. Right. I don't have a problem at all. This country was built on immigration for the most part. After we've cleared out the natives that were here, unfortunately, part of my heritage. But this country was built on immigration. Like we wouldn't have New York, we wouldn't have Chicago, like, Italian, Polish, Cuban, Puerto Rican, like you name it. We're just a mixing board of everything.
Right.
So without that, we wouldn't have America. But with the way this border thing has been set in, it's more than obvious. We were kind of talking about before the show. It's like they've literally opened the floodgates. So the dam is wide open. It's and over in Europe and other countries and stuff, third world or whatever you want to call it, there are people that we don't even associate with this country that are going, hey, if you make it over there, here's a phone, here's the way of transportation, here's the route. Grab everybody, grab everything, and they're just flooding everybody in here. And we'll talk on it, I'm sure, but like, there's some, like, everybody needs to start realizing, like, hey, you need to start protecting you and your shit, like, because nobody out there in the suits, the state, nothing, they don't care about you. Like,
they want it to happen.
That's
focus on you.
We were talking about last week, like one of the parks that they took the razor wire off. Or they put the razor wire on, they found out that nobody came through that park that day. They were going around the park and going into the neighbors, these actual farms,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because there was nothing there. So it deterred people from crossing into the park that the week before had been littered with people. And we went over it last week. We watched that. I don't know if I sent it to you, but I'll send it to you. The Muckraker documentary of the two brothers who came from who did the trek from Venezuela here, and like they were actually stopping like a fucking 5K, and they were giving them food, giving them water, and giving them maps, giving them legal advice and all this stuff. And it's like it's brought to you by the UN. Like, are you what? Like the UN is funding all this. You're like, wait a minute, like Doctors Without Borders. Like, wait a minute, hold on. Why is everybody funding this? And all of them are going, Biden great, Biden the best. But like, I'm sorry. Like, why are we praising and why are we praising the United States president for letting these people in? And I understand why, but like they're not seeking asylum. They're just coming here because they know that you come here, and they're saying that there's 12 million people that came through the border, like that they know of.
Right.
That they know of. So if it's 12 million, there's got to be a lot more. Like, I don't know, like the exact, I'm not going to say like, oh, there's really 32 million or 40, like but there's a lot more, and they're not coming through the port of entry. I remember in college, I went through for 3 semesters, so I had a lot of experience there. I met this girl from Canada, and she was talking about how she had spent 25 grand of her own money. Now she's putting herself through college at this time, freshman, 25 grand to become a United States citizen at the age of 18, and they eventually denied her citizenship after spending 25 grand. So like the fact that you can spend all that money and still not get citizenship, and then watch these people just cross the border and just be like, base, I'm here, you can't touch me, I can't go back. Like it frustrates the fuck out of people who are doing it the right way and trying to do it the right way and paying
she could
to
list
do it.
in our great American Army or military. If she really wants that
Canadian,
citizenship.
right? She's Canadian. I don't think she wanted to.
Oh, fair.
I'll just take the moose and just chill out here.
Well, okay.
What's the rules on the vapes on this?
I don't know.
Whatever. Nobody
Dude,
cares.
I drink. Come on now. As long as you're not doing anything illegal, I don't give a fuck about YouTube. It's really Rumble that, I stay on Rumble all the time. But we got Baby Viking. It says it's for votes. You are half correct, sir. We went over this last week. I found this document, and the Great Replacement Theory is correct. However, it's not about race. It's about replacing you because you don't want to work. Now, this is from March 21 of 2000. It is a United Nations document, replacement migration. Is it a solution or declining aging to populations? Let's see.
Let's not get too technical because we broke it down last week.
Oh, we did.
And this was released. This was released in what year?
2000.
2000. I just want to go over this little point right here. Now, we are between scenario 4 and scenario 5. Scenario 4 says 513,000 migrants per year by 2050 out of a total population of 316 million. 25 million, or 7.9%, would be post-1995 immigrants or their descendants. Scenario 5 is the alarming one because we're going to be hitting that, apparently, if this continues, because 593 million immigrants from 1995 to 2050 at an average of 10.8 million per year by 2050 out of the United States total population of 1.1 billion people. 775 million, or 73%, would be post-1995 immigrants or their descendants. We are between these two scenarios at this point in time.
Do you remember what I looked up last week for that shit? I can't even remember because it was pretty much on track. I think it was 13%. They said since 1995 are now descendants of immigrants. So what they're trying to do is replace the natural born citizens with, a mix of immigrants and natural born citizens. So that way, we would, technically be replaced.
Do you have any inclination that could be like the want to dummy down the community? For like for
Wait,
my
hold on.
example or my theory on that or my feelings on that, because I have a 6-year-old daughter and I went through public schools and I would grew up on the north end of Flint, Michigan. Little school, Mount Morris, shout out. But in that school, as I was going in, I graduated 09. So like my curriculum, like I felt like junior high was when I really grasped and got most of my knowledge, 7th and 8th grade. High school, it just felt like the memorizational game at that point. I was going through the transition from Bush into Obama at the tail end of my high school year. So I wasn't eligible for that election. And
I
then
was.
it just seemed so different from that point forward. And then, with my daughter lately, she's been, she's in first grade. I understand first grade, yeah, whatever, it's first grade, but it just seems like she's become bored. And she's a really like engaged child. She really likes learning and stuff. She likes picking up things real quick. But lately, it just seems like she's getting the same book sent to her every couple weeks. Or recently, we just had a complaint from her teacher that she didn't want to be, participating in the group activity. And her explanation to her mother and I was like, "Dad, we did this last week. Like we did the same thing. Like it was like I already know what happens." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I don't. It's almost like the curriculum is just redundant because they went to a federal system over the state, governed educational system as of late.
Well, because I mean, if you watch what happened during COVID, like the teachers didn't want to go back to school. So
No, they're making more money than they were.
Yeah, so the teachers
And sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah, they rolled out of bed, threw some shit on a computer, made sure your kid was there, and then they got to and a lot of people were like, well, I worked more
And they got
hours.
to talk about their genitals.
Oh, this is true. And pronouns.
Don't get me going.
But so they were kind of pissed off that they kind of had to go back to work. So now they're just like not putting any effort into it. Like I had a teacher in 8th grade who just passed out dittos all week. And then on Friday, we'd have a test on what he passed out on the dittos. And that's all he did. And he goes, I don't care. I'm making $100,000 a year. What do I care? I got 5 more years left. So like, I think that the teachers are just like, all right, if they're not going to check on us and see what we're doing or even bother, what we're doing. But even that, like, even you watch the videos of some of the people asking questions on the street of younger generations, like 18, 19-year-olds, like, who was the first president? Barack Obama? What? And it's just like,
that's what I'm saying. Going back to that theory of the replacement theory, it's like I really feel like they're trying to, the people that are asking questions, they're just literally trying to shun it with like verbal extinguish and shun and box
also,
and titles and everything.
There's also a little bit of a certain medical procedure that's doing something too. But no, you actually do have a point because I used to be a big troublemaker when I was a kid.
Okay? Absolutely same.
I'd get in trouble with the law just to get away from my abusive parents. When I was locked up, I had a better education than in public schools. When I was locked up, I was doing like physics and trigonometry and things like that.
That was the state system. It was like you learn the meat and potatoes and move along.
I know somebody who got locked up to get teeth.
Well, no. When I was locked up, I was learning these things. The teachers couldn't help me because I was way beyond them. But in public schools, my 10th grade year, for the first month, I'm learning how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide whole numbers again.
Yeah. The first couple months,
why I'm
you're just
causing
like
problems in school.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I had a pizza ordered to the window of a class once. Straight Spicoli style. Yeah. Straight paid the guy cash through the window and everything. Like, dude, I'm not kidding you. The last bump out on the window that's right on it, bro. I'll be waving my hand at you because the teacher got me away from everyone, put me up front by his desk, and he'd always stand off to the side and do his old little fucking projector slides. It's like, yeah, anybody want a slice, dude? Like, I was so bored. I think it was English class.
So Whoopi sent me this really quickly. It says Section 4, Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee that to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and an application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. So yeah, I mean, Texas is allowed to protect themselves. And what I find the funniest is, like, you
If
have all
the
these
federal
states,
government does not, yes.
yeah, and you have all these states. Remember, what was it? Not even 3 years ago, 4 years ago, telling Texas, Arizona, "Oh well, it's your problem. You fix it." You got these people coming. Why are you just crying about it? And then you have all these sanctuary cities getting billions of dollars in funding, and so now Texas
But they
goes,
can't
"I'll
even keep up with the workload. That's the bad thing right
Yeah.
now. It's like they're just busting. Like Texas, is like, all right, fine. We're just gonna send you all the ones we got already. And
So
they're just
with-
busting Chicago and New York. Like, here you go.
But
Here you go. Here you go.
But that's a catch-22 because Rich had said this before. It's a catch-22 because now you're sending them to these Democrat-run cities,
Districts.
and now you're going to have
boosting district numbers.
you're going to
for votes.
redistrict everything. So now they're going to get a
Clark
vote.
said it.
Oh,
She
when
said
she-
she needs them just for redistricting purposes.
When she said that, my back cringed. I was like, whoa, dude, they're literally at the point where they can't hide it. They're just admitting it clear as day to people. And people are like not being like, what? That's why I wanted to come on here. I'm like, I feel like not enough people are aware or alert. Especially like my close friends. Like, be aware of what's going on. People.
Well,
It's
that's the
crazy.
thing. And that's why I love doing this. And me and Rich,
We can't be in denial anymore.
me and Rich, I kind of glommed onto Rich because Rich goes deeper into these things, and I have the same feelings about what he says, and I feel like I'm not being heard, and I'm sick and tired of it. Like, and I say it, I'm half a dummy, and if I can see this stuff, and people are like, well, I'm just not into politics, and I'm like, well, Scooter, you better fucking wise up, because not being into politics is going to hurt you in the long run. Because if you're watching these videos, TikTok lately, there's a couple girls that I saw. One girl was, I think, a welder, made the same money for the last 8 years, got back $1,500 in taxes, and somehow this year she owed $200. And she went, I've made the same amount of money for the last 8 years, worked the same amount of hours. How is it that I owe? And there was another girl who's like, yeah. And she said, I gave $10 extra because I really wanted to go on a nice vacation. And then there was another girl who's like, I own two businesses. I own a business and I work. And somehow I owe $2,000 to the government. And it's like, how does it? I didn't even make that
Remember
much
when
money.
all those new tax brackets came out and then those stimulus checks?
Well,
Yeah.
We got to
plus
pay
the
that
fact-
back eventually.
That plus the fact we've given how much to Ukraine? How much to Israel?
160 billion when it would literally take $20 billion to solve, fix, and solutionize our homeless issue in the country across the entire span of the country.
It's been more than 160.
Oh, I'm sure it's over 160 billion. That was the last amount we sent. It's probably well over 200
We
or 300
spent,
And then
we
billion.
just sent like 63.5 billion.
And
just
then
now?
you see headlines like this. AP gets it wrong once in a while, but Ukraine says corrupt officials stole 40 million meant to buy arms for the war. Ukraine security services say employees for an arms firm conspired with defense ministry officials to embezzle almost $40 million earmarked to buy mortar shells for the war with Russia.
Also, not to mention the fact that wasn't there a story about how our weapons of war that we sent Ukraine wound up in the hands of Hamas? How'd that happen?
Tori says the government can lie and hide things from us because the population enables it these days. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We can give.
I might as well bring it up. I need to give you control of this so you can.
You
bring
need to.
them up
Yeah,
there.
you need to let me in on this so that way I can start controlling some things.
Dude, I've been incredibly busy. My bad.
Yeah, I know. Listen, listen to one less thing on one less committee hearing and fix this. But
Rich,
yeah, I mean,
do you have
That's
any?
where the misinformation comes from. I can't.
Rich, do you happen to have the amounts that the migrants are being offered or given, and the amount of
Well-
funding that the UN is putting towards the transport? It's they
Anywhere
call
between
it
3,000 to 5,000 a person. As soon as they cross the border, they're given these little debit cards that are 3,000 to 5,000 a person.
these are people that are literally packing up and leaving where they grew up, where their ancestors are from. Everything aside from like what's going on around them, and our own people in Hawaii are getting $700 each because their house was literally burned to the ground.
Well,
From
don't
a
forget. I
satellite.
mean, The Rock and Oprah were asking for help.
Their houses were just fine.
They own the biggest. They own the biggest share of Hawaii, but
Hey, The Rock. Let me put this on a public platform. Why don't you go ahead and shoot Fast and Furious 10 on Hawaii? Because you already got a destructive zone as it is. You don't even need to build any place else. So you can save millions of dollars and then put all that money that you were going to put into that stupid movie and put it into the island that you're from.
Right.
But
What? Instead of making a commercial.
We got Polar Bears says the weapons we sent to Ukraine are also appearing in the hands of the Mexican cartels too. Guess
Oh,
what?
absolutely. It's all corrupt. We don't get to see any of it.
U.S.
Oh, yeah.
is organizing a $5 million sale to Mexican forces accused of murder and kidnapping.
Because we have to help them out.
Just like Fast and the Furious under Obama, we are selling weapons to the cartels that we are at war with. Ladies and gentlemen, what is giving aid and comfort to the enemies of the United States in a time of war?
treason.
Yep.
But we gotta help them because the bigger, badder cartel people that they're battling down there are scarier. So we gotta help.
I
our
mean, they
buddies
run
down
the
in
fucking
Mexico, right?
border. And apparently through the little leak that Kerry Lake set out, they're operating in all 50 states. But yeah.
It's frustrating.
Who was
There
I
was
talking to earlier today? Where would you move to? Like, if all else fails, like, where is the last sanctuary place on this planet? Exactly. Where is not a corrupt government? Where shit's not getting thrown on Capitol buildings? Where things aren't exploding and blowing and
I
burning
just
to the
keep
ground?
saying it. We just need to go full Kazakhstan in here. All right.
Yeah.
If y'all know what happened in Kazakhstan not too long ago, can't say it for
Canada.
YouTube, but let's just say they took care of their corrupt ass government quick.
They drug out some people. They didn't let some people stay around. Did some fucking things.
I do say this, let's be a little bit more civil about it. How about the people actually hold these people? We charge them for treason. We are the judge. We are the jury. We are the defense. We are the prosecution. And we vote whether they are guilty or not. We carry out the sentence. If they are found guilty, we carry out the sentence outside the office that they are outside the building where they held office, so that the next person that comes in thinks twice about doing what this administration is doing. Now, Kazakhstan did a lot worse for a lot less of what our government is doing to us. But yeah, go ahead and look up into that because it's looking good right now.
Oh, here it is. All right. Here, let me present this really quickly because people are getting pissed, man.
You're going to have to.
Yeah.
There you go.
Meat 3 meals, housing, child care, education, a voucher for $9,000. You know what? I come to Chicago too. And that's what they're doing. They're telling people and they're sending money back to back to Venezuela to come to Chicago because they're saying, hey, the good times are rolling there. They're taking care of everybody. Now, when we have Venezuelans that are driving cars, where did they get a driver's license? Where did they get insurance from? And then you have Venezuelans being caught with drugs and guns. Where are they getting them from?
Which is cool because they just voted with 150 Democrats voting against it to not. Well, they voted for it. I think it passed. They voted for 150 Democrats voted not to send illegals who with drunk driving on their record, not to send them back.
Yeah. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Get this. Because Americans can go to jail for being passed out drunk in their driveways. I shit you not. That was the reason that Mr. McGovern brought up, and everybody's like, well, that makes sense. I'm just gonna no, we can't pass that, because if you're passed out in your driveway, not hurting anybody, you'll be deported. I shit you not. That was the reason.
Here we go. Oh, no, that's the wrong way.
You got another?
Yeah, here's the vote. Deporting migrants for driving under the influence. 215, 59, 150.
Yeah, there was
100
also a vote to ban Hamas. Ban the Hamas members that wanted to immigrate to the United States. Ban them from coming here. Rashida Tlaib and Cori Bush voted no.
Hunter B controls the drug trade. You know what, Tori? You're absolutely right. He does. He sells paintings, and in the paintings, he's got all of his drugs in there. And he's like, listen, you want this painting? It's got $500,000 worth of in there. Come on, get it.
Let me paint. Can I paint you guys a very scary world real quick?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Anybody got a calendar or a calculator handy for me real quick for some numbers?
Bring it up.
Go for it.
Okay, so according to the New York Post, an average of 10,000 migrants per month are coming in to New York under the Biden administration. We're correct?
Mm-hmm.
So let's do how many months until November?
Right now we have. This is the second, so yeah, 10.
Okay, New York Post also reporting that as of right now, 173,900 migrants this year alone, or no, I'm sorry, in the last 6 months. So those numbers have actually been spiking up and down, but on average, it's 10,000 a month. They currently have 122,300 people in care in shelter systems in New York. New York's population is 20 million. Now, how many months is that until we hit November, the votes?
February,
what, 9 months?
March, April.
So you're talking probably almost over another 100,000 people. So now we're talking about 500,000 people alone shipped to just New York on record of what they're kind of tracking in the New York Post. That's people that literally, well, you guys were just saying, have no laws until they become full citizens and engage in everything. The way they're doing things right now is they're just arresting for beating the shit out of police officers in downtown New York and then just letting them go.
Yep.
Those people, your insurance is not going to mean shit. Your safety is going to be insane because literally they're not going to have any repercussions to their actions or anything. You're talking, 500,000 people that are from a different country just rushed here within the last year.
Well, let me paint
that have a right to vote, that have been given a chance to vote.
Because New York's one of those states where if you're an illegal, you're allowed to get a driver's license. What's up, Rich?
Here's the thing. We have 7 states right now that allow illegal immigrants to vote in local elections. Now, where do these people that go federal come from? Well, they come from your local. Then they go state. And then they go federal. So these motherfuckers do indirectly have already control of your federal elections because they're the ones that are voting to offer up who goes federal. Number one. Number two, there are 3 states in this country right now who, as soon as you get a driver's license, which they are offering to illegal immigrants, you are registered to vote. Now, what do you need to vote in person?
Driver's
license or a form of ID, government ID.
Now,
it could be a state issued ID.
There is still open legislation in New York City to let illegal immigrants vote, both local and federal. Y'all think that's going to pass right before 2020 or 2024? The votes?
No.
It's insane. The fact that we're allowing, and who voted for this shit? By the way, who voted for this? Who voted to allow this?
Like, to have an ID, you need what? I'm sorry. Proof of residency and birth certificate or government issued something to say you're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
What was also shown through
oh yeah,
what's her name? Ashley St. Clair's video. Oh, they already have documentation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what they're doing at airports. You can get your picture taken, or you don't have to get your picture taken to come into this country. So, you know, we might know who you are. We might not know who you are. You can say you're Juan Valdez. You cannot be. You can be Juan Valdez if you want, or if you don't want to be. You know, you could be on a donkey in the middle of Colombia and drinking coffee, or you could be in the United States airports.
American citizens get turned into a fucking Pokemon, but these people don't even have to have a name.
No fucking way.
No, they can make up their only name or their whatever name they want.
No name given.
Did you see that the mayor of KC has their own government ID so homeless can get bank accounts and whatnot? Oh,
yep.
My God.
Yep.
Come on down.
But I don't.
The Great Replacement theory is a racist, anti-Semitic. Yeah, anti-Semitic.
But it's the funny thing,
conspiracy theory.
I say that, like, and I tell everybody, make sure you know who you're voting for in your local elections, because that matters most to you. So all of a sudden, like,
doesn't matter when you're flooded with these illegals, though.
But like I'm in Missouri and I drive to Kansas for work every day, and about a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, they started putting up these cashless tolls. And it's about 10 miles or so. It's like, who the fuck? Wait, who voted for this? So now what they're going to do is they're going to track your speed, how long it takes you between each toll. Now charge you every toll. Now the toll is going to start at maybe 35 cents. In a year, the next thing you know, it's going to be $1.50 every 10 miles.
Oh,
now they're going to track you every 10 miles to see if you're going the speed limit. And if you go from point A to point B too fast, guess what they're going to do? They're going to send you a fucking ticket.
They've already had this outside of Chicago, outside of Great Lakes for the longest of time, because I know this because I got an indecency ticket because I was flipping off the traffic cams as I was going under them. Indecency ticket. And it had my face with my middle fingers up in my windshield.
How much was the fucking ticket?
It was like $15
for flipping off a camera.
My other buddy got a speeding ticket for a 10 over.
I got one for you.
All captured by camera, all sent through the mail. Got it in the mail.
I
live in Michigan.
When I was a military contractor, we went overseas. We went to Germany, right? Now, as we are in our contracts, we can only do what we are actually contracted to do. Because I speak German, I was contracted to be a translator. That's all I could do. I couldn't even pick up a screwdriver to help, right? We had a dude that was actually supposed to be our driver. Now, he went out to go get something to eat while we are at the hotel. And he's driving around. He's lost. He don't know where he is, right? He's driving around and he drives through this traffic light and it takes a picture. He's like, I'm not speeding. What the hell? So he goes around the block, slows down, does it again. And he's like, this is insane. Why is it taking my picture? He does this 2 more times, going slower each time. He gets back to the United States, gets 5 fucking tickets for driving under the speed limit.
Jesus.
Is it on the Autobahn or something? Jesus.
No, it was in the city. It was in right outside of Landstuhl.
Yeah, Barbells, you're right.
Landstuhl, I was there.
2013. Dude, that's where I was fucking born.
Unfortunately, I was there.
My dad was in the Air Force. I was born in Landstuhl.
I never saw the sun.
Nope.
Yeah. Under. Yeah, you're right. Barbells, they're doing that. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago. The congestion tax in New York. Now to drive into New York between, what is it, 1st Street and 60th Street, you're going to have to pay a congestion tax.
$15 a day?
No, it's like, it was like $20. It was like, yeah, you're right. I think it was like 15 during certain times and 25 other times. Mind you, it cost you to go from New York, from New Jersey to New York or New York to New Jersey. it costs you $25 to get over the bridge. So now it's $50 to go to the city. And a lot of the
Holy
people
shit.
who are in New York City are driving from Jersey into New York to work. So it's $50 a day to get into
One
New York.
way, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's 25 each way.
No, it's one way. It's only one way. So if you're going in when you I forget.
So leaving New York, they don't charge you going back to
I know
Jersey?
going into New York, they charge you, and then going back into Jersey, I don't believe they charge you. But like, yeah,
Dude,
but
that's why every time I drive somewhere, I click avoid tolls. I don't even
But, I
care. Like,
mean,
when I drove to the Keys in
You
Louisiana,
can't do that in New York, though.
you can't do that. Manhattan's an
Oh.
island. Manhattan's an island, so
It's
you have
just
to
like-
it's every way. But
Is
not
it
only
fair
that,
to
Chicago,
cheaper?
the tolls are everywhere. There's no way you can get into Chicago without avoiding it.
Yeah. Well, you can get off the highway and drive them streets. I've done it.
Yeah, but
You can drive. I ain't afraid to drive them streets, dude. I'll drive them streets.
it's gonna
to save
take
a
you an
dollar.
extra hour to do that.
That's fine. You get to see some wild shit, some cool shit at the same time, dude. I've done
You
that in
might find
LA.
a crackhead
I've
on
done
the side
that
of the
everywhere.
road, go to 200
It's
feet
my
and see
favorite
somebody get
people.
shot. It's cool.
It's my favorite people, dude. I grew up
I
in
don't know
Flint.
about all
Like,
that.
the wilder, the better, dude.
But yeah, all right. Last week we went over on Rumble only when we went over that muckraker video where they traveled the entire route that these migrants are doing. We got something else for you, ladies and gentlemen. The same dude that was literally kidnapped by the cartels, threatened, and extorted. Well, he's got another little bit of information for you. Let's listen to this.
oh, that's him
I'd
too.
like for you to post
Yes.
it.
Okay, I'll post
so that
this.
people can actually see how
Sure.
naive and how you lack the basic fucking ability to hold Congress accountable, man.
Guys, honestly, if you want to really know what's going on, sir, you said you really want to like know what's going on and really find solutions, you need to read this book. This is exactly what's happening. This is weaponized migration. From Maduro and everybody else, you absolutely need to read this book.
What's the percentage of migrants that are crossing right now?
Right now,
I love this argument. What's the percentage? Okay. It's the same percentage. But back when Trump was in office, it was like 300 to 400,000 a year.
Yeah.
When Biden's in office, it's like 2 million a year. But the same percentage. Sir, whether I make $10 an hour or $100 an hour, if you still charge me 10%, it's still the same flat percentage, but the amount is different.
Sounds like streaming platforms to make you sound better about yourself. Or feel
Right?
better about yourself.
Top
You're in
point-
the top 20%. Congratulations.
top 0.01%, baby.
no, I don't know the actual, I wouldn't know that exact number.
Do you know what the percentage of migrants was in the 1900s when we had the highest number of migrants crossing?
I mean, well, so there was 10 million that have come through
Not 10
recently.
million. Do you know what the percentage was?
I don't know the percentage.
You gave me this book, right?
No, I just wanted you to see it. You can take a picture of it. No, it's actually a very, very good book. It was written by a socialist in 2006.
Okay. So there's anywhere from 12 to 14% of migrants that we had in the early.
Okay, 12 to 14% of 400,000 is roughly around 48,000. 12 to 14% of 2 million is roughly 240 million or 240,000. There's a big difference between 48,000 to 240,000. Sir,
early 1900s, the
Mhm.
highest number that we've ever had as a percentage of our population, right? Right now we're having the same number. So frankly, it's not big.
No, that was from 1920 to 1950.
No, sir.
Yes, it was. It was from 1920 to 1950 through
You
Ellis
just said you
Island.
didn't know the
Yes,
number.
it is.
No, I don't know. I don't know this because you're asking for one little tiny statistic. You're doing a little straw man argument here.
How am I doing it?
Because
I said,
no,
what is the
because
percentages?
you're already kind of coming off smug to me, which is kind of weird. But
How is it being smug? I
oh no,
asked
because
you,
you're like, oh, so you don't know this one thing. But anyways, I'm not
So-
here to argue with you, dude. I just wanted you to share some very, very good information with you.
okay.
Weapons of Mass Migration is a great book. This is mass migration. This is
Weapons
weaponized
of mass migration.
This is
So-
weaponized migration. Maduro's he doesn't send missiles, he sends people. Well, you know the biggest thing that that book tells you is that basically the one thing this does above anything else, sending this many people to the country, divides people. It's division to the target state is the number one thing.
Did you know that when migrants were arriving on Ellis Island, they didn't have paperwork either?
No, they actually went through a vetting process, and if they didn't pass that process, they were turned back, and that's not what's happening now. There's bastardization.
That's not exactly what happened.
There's okay, so now
That is exactly what happens because no name given to be on flights. There's no vetting at any point in that.
Yeah, man, I want to go back I got to get a hold of my buddy. He's from the Philippines. He was seeking citizenship through joining the Navy. We called him Pops. He was in his late 30s, maybe even early 40s. I don't know the cutoff back then. This was 2010, 2011. He made it through, but I mean, like he struggled a little bit in boot camp, and then him and I were equipment operators together at the same time. And I mean, he was learning a new language, how to everything. And fuck, he's already 38, 40 years old at that point. So now just to watch this many people just flood into the country and as we go welcome gates, like it's heaven. Like it's bananas. It's happened so fast. Like literally,
what the dude was talking about. What he's trying to argue here is the fact that it was 12%, 12 to 14% through 30 years. We've seen 12 to 14% through 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So not only is it 48,000 divided by 30 years, now you got 240,000 divided by 3 years. It's not the same. But he's trying to make the argument based off percentage alone to make people feel like, well, okay, that makes sense. It's the same. Okay. No, motherfucker, it is not the same. It never has been the same.
He's just trying to respond off the script given, all the debriefs and everything that they've gone through and all that. He's just trying to stick to what he was told to respond and not get caught slipping.
Amanda just sent this to me. So the card, if you don't, it's called in Kansas, it's called a fountain card, right? And the purpose of the fountain card was designed to create an increased sense of belonging and community across the city and make it easier for residents to access municipal and regional services. Now, you go down to, what if I don't have a primary identification document? If the primary if a primary document isn't available, 2 alternate forms of identification may be used. Letter from a government or social service agency attesting to the identity of the applicant. School yearbook.
I can make a whole school yearbook with just TikTok friends right now, dude.
A W-2 form issued within the last year in addition to a signed social security card. Court-certified adoption papers that include adopted parents' names.
Wait. How do we go from school yearbook to a W-2 form?
I have no idea. They always know
There's
what
no gradual increase to anything there. It's just like, hey, school yearbook or W-2.
Certificate of vehicle title of registration documents, proof of auto insurance, insurance policy, Medicaid, Medicare document or identification, payroll stub that includes social security number of the applicant, military discharge document, canceled duplicate check, must show name, address, signature, and name of institution, utility bill which shows name, address of applicant, voter registration card, shelter name band, including name. Wait, so a school yearbook, shelter name band, or everything else that you need an identification for.
Bro, I can get a legit McLovin ID printed and made and fool the cops with it at the age of 16 to pull off me being 21 back in like 2007, bro. What they can do with the ability of that, and how much money are they giving these people once they get this card?
Well, apparently, to what that video says, 9,000, but it's anywhere between
this is
3
just
and 5 from what I hear.
It's just a card just so you can have access to stuff in town.
Right.
It's an identification
benefits.
Yeah.
This is literally like a legit way to like account for their benefits.
So yes.
Yeah.
It's
so you can get a bank account and but I guarantee you can register to vote with this card.
Guaranteed, dude. It's sponsored by the state.
It's a government ID.
It's an ID number, right? Yeah, there's an ID number right there.
Yeah. Haley wants to make a yearbook.
Let's make a yearbook. You know what upsets me with all these numbers and stuff, dude? You know what I need to do strategy-wise? Like, I've had 3 main TikTok accounts now, and I've never been able to, like, surpass 20 and stay there. 20,000. This is bullshit, dude. I need to go down there and just be like, hey, TikTok! TikTok! Ryan is purple, dude!
Well, see, look,
I'll be trending like
I know a few good like political figures from TikTok. You realize that there are some people on TikTok, myself included, that if your voice ever pops up or if your face ever pops up, you're immediately, the video is taken down or you're banned. I'm one of those people, which is why I stayed out of Davy's shit.
What do you mean?
When you were doing your live while you were down here, I stayed off camera. And
Oh,
I was right off in the background.
Yeah.
Because if my face or my voice pops up, I'm one of those people, instant ban. Just like Packing Patriot. Just like, what's his name? Freedom Stick. Those people, you'll never see them on TikTok again because they're instantly banned as soon as they come up. Why? Because we were making fucking waves. We were pushing back. At that point in time, it was like 2020, 2021, 2022, somewhere around there. I mean, that's how me and Davey kind of wound up knowing each other. But yeah, I had a TikTok where all I was doing was posting like screenshots of articles for people to read, things like that, and just putting like little bit of information about it, like, hey, this is bullshit because this says this is this. They were trying to get me for authenticity and integrity, which you cannot report for. That is a TikTok thing.
Amanda said that's why I crapped him out of the video and extracted most of the audio from the original.
Right. It's that. I don't know if it's still able to do that. Like it's been.
It's an honor to be here with the Alex Jones of TikTok.
He's actually turned a frog gay once.
Oh my god!
You know what? No, not for the lack of trying.
Wait, who was it that was talking about? Oh, I can't think of her name right now. Comedian, female. She was on. I'm a avid fan of Joe Rogan, man. I've been a fan of him for years. I've seen him live in Hollywood multiple times at the Comedy Store with my Navy career out there in California. But he had Whitney Cummings. That's who it was. She said she lives in, Hollywood, California, in the hills and stuff, and that she had a raccoon acting, but not like just out of the norm. It was most likely rabbit or whatever from her thought because she's a big animal lover. She called the animal control and the police, and they were like, well, we've seen a lot of cases of fentanyl getting into the water supply because people are testing their fentanyl or their drugs, and if it tests positive for fentanyl, they're just flushing it. And it's immediately going into the LA water system and streams and stuff. So the animals are getting directly affected by it. And she's like, there I was with a fentanyl-laced fucking raccoon. Yeah.
They're overdosing the gay frogs.
Oh my gosh, man. We got so loose and so like funhousey. Like I don't understand it. I do. I do. I understand what happened and when it happened. I was in the military when we switched, from Barack to Trump, and it was like, holy shit, this is what the military is supposed to like. It was like the engine came alive, like all of a sudden. When I was during the Obama era, there were amazing men and women getting booted out because their necks measured too wide.
Yeah. And
you're talking physical specimen human beings, like the most athletes of the athletes. They could do handstand push-ups and shit. And they went, your neck is too fat. You're overweight. Bye-bye.
Well, that's what happens That's what happens when you make the president a person that you shoved in a locker in fucking 3rd grade. And now he's the president. And he's just like, well, fuck those guys. Out.
Well, see, isn't there like in certain parts of the military, isn't there an exercise you're supposed to do to rotate your neck on the ground to strengthen your neck?
I mean, yeah, there are different exercises and strategies and stuff you can. But everybody, for the most part, is kind of on their OFP, their own fucking program as far as working out goes. As long as you pass your physical fitness test, that's really all the commands care about. Pass your physical fitness test. Don't give me any reason to bitch at you. We'll be just fine.
Right, but
Do what
I
you're
did
told.
have when I was working in military contracting, I did have a guy who did get booted because his neck was too wide. And he he was constantly in the gym. If he wasn't at work, he was in the gym. And that was one of the things he was doing because that was one of the weakest points of him. Yeah, he was a huge guy. I mean,
They never pissed hot. They never, no drug failures or anything like that. They're just simply like, oh, we've changed the weight requirements of the military.
Whoa. Tori said they're blowing stuff up so we don't see what's really going on. Just like the other day, Biden's house was being searched, but no one spoke on that. And there was no coverage. Really?
Yeah.
I did not hear about that.
Biden's house was searched and they found, it was, was it the Secret Service or was it the FBI that did the search? If it was the FBI, then that shit's going to come out and it's all going to get buried.
Yeah. Well, what happened to the files that he had in his house?
Secret Service actually is supposed to protect them. Everything's going to get buried. What about the cocaine in the White House?
I don't even understand that. That has become such a, he said this and it's been this, and then it was like in the library, whatever the locker room or the cubbies, and then the locker wasn't locked, and then the locker was open, and then it was on the floor outside of an open locker that was never locked, and it was like what
story.
It just become bullshit.
No. It went from being outside the West Wing doors in a bush to inside where everybody puts their stuff before they check in to in the library, past the check-in point.
Well, fuck all that. They got his gun holster testing positive for cocaine residue.
I mean, yes, but it went from to a locker outside of the Situation Room that's supposedly under renovation. And the biggest thing that everybody was screaming is that was Trump Jr.'s cocaine. Motherfucker, if that's Trump Jr.'s cocaine, that was 2.5 goddamn years ago. We got a bigger problem.
Dude, I grew up in Flint. If it's on the ground, not in anyone's hands, and they're picking it up and dumping it out.
But you're also talking about the White House. I've been in the White House several times. There are cameras at every turn, every corner, the 3 or 4 in every hallway looking every direction. You're going to sit there and tell me they didn't catch nobody?
There's no way Bill Clinton got away with what he did. Not with all them cameras.
Hold on, there is no cameras in the Oval Office.
I did not have sexual relations.
There is no cameras in the Oval Office.
Actually, it was just a cigar that had sexual relations with that woman. I did not. Maybe
the cigar penetrated her.
It might have been a piece of my saxophone too, but I don't know.
The cigar was not a cigar. I did smoke, but I did not inhale.
Fucking Clintons, man. You know what I always thought was funny? That movie that came out with Tom Cruise, the smuggler movie, at the very end when he's all locked away. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry, but based on true facts.
Oh, National Treasure?
No. That's Nick Cage.
I'm trying to think of what
I can't remember the name of it. It's when he's the pilot and he's flying back and forth smuggling for the CIA. And at the very end, he's sitting outside of Supreme Court or wherever, getting ready to get his federal sentencing. They get a phone call from, Governor Clinton from Arkansas at the time, and they just uncuff him. He disappears for life.
Right.
And that movie literally came out right as Hillary was stirring up her, electoral campaign and shit. It's like, yo, Hollywood, Tom Cruise just outed you, y'all. And nobody hello, ring, ling, 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 ling. That was a great movie.
The Da Vinci Code?
She's got a body count.
No, it wasn't Da Vinci Code.
I'm not talking about the people that were inside.
Tom Cruise. Oh, I thought you said Tom. Listen.
Thomas Cruise.
Identity report. I don't fucking...
No, but she does have a body count 1 million long, and I'm not talking about the people that were inside her either. But yeah.
Ugh. Would you?
No.
God, no. Never.
No. Not even back in the day when they were first...
Dude, I would just bust in Monica Lewinsky before her. All right?
No. Never mind.
No, come on.
No.
I do B. Arthur now before I do her.
Okay, here's my only scenario I'd ever proposition putting Hillary up on the table. You know, if I was the sole carrier of COVID, and the only way to pass it was through transmission.
Look, I told you we go
I'm
off
like,
the
I'm going
rails
in
all
for
the
the
time.
boys.
We are
I'm going
way
in
the
for the
hell
boys.
out there.
If I was
Hey.
patient 0, maybe, but I don't know.
Dude, once attached to SEALs and stuff, like you just always like support those guys. Like the shit that happened with the Benghazi shit, like it's I was in
Yeah, that
during
was
that whole
disgusting.
time. That was insane. Like none of us could believe it, but none of us were allowed to speak of it. Anytime we'd like kind of nudged questions, we were immediately shot down. Like shut, like you don't want that kind of heat. Like just shut up. They're like, oh,
Yeah, this bitch can
Okay.
destroy fucking evidence under subpoena. This bitch can destroy evidence, but Trump makes a fucking phone call to Ukraine to say, "Hey, what was Biden doing?" And apparently, this motherfucker's supposed to be on the way out. Come on,
But
man.
not even that. They said that he was interfering with an election by looking into his presidential the Democratic presidential nominee or his political opponent. Joe Biden was running at the time. What Joe Biden is doing right now to Trump is actual interfering with an election, trying to get him off the fucking ballots and everything like
what
that.
is he doing
Trump-
though right now? What is Trump doing? Why is he not on X? Why has Elon gone off his whole way to get
Because he
freedom of
has a
speech on
contract with
X?
his own damn company that he
Because
cannot
truth-
post
yeah.
on anything else but through social.
Yeah, but he's got to relinquish that power anyway if he gets back in office like he did last time. He can't be the sitting board member. So why not just give it to his damn sons and just sit that retirement life? You either become president or you don't. And another way, join
Ego.
Mar-a-Lago, bitch. Join Mar-a-Lago. You want that bitch. Like,
Ego.
what
That's
the-
all
what
it
do you
is.
need to do?
I mean, that's what it is with the man. It's ego. Like, you know, I do hate the asshole. I'm gonna be honest. I hate him. He's a
I
fucking
wish
prick.
there was somebody else.
But
Vivek
he
is
did
cool.
good.
Vivek
like
is
Vivek.
cool. I like
Vivek.
Vivek. He's outspoken. He ain't afraid. He's not on the payroll. Like he will. Nikki Haley shit was amazing. Like, thank you. It's like, well,
when he held
like
up
that's
that
like
fucking
that's
piece
the
of
argument I
paper,
get
he
all the
knew what he
time.
was
It's
doing.
like,
that was a
well,
meme.
we put Bush in. It's like, yeah, but Bush was like, listen to Haley and shit. Like, look at the comparables. Like, it's just like the person is there speaking, but it's obviously like scripted. Like, it's got an earpiece and go say this. Like, it's just uncomfortable. Like, I
Look at this.
want somebody I'm comfortable with. And Trump, unfortunately, is the one that's like, hey, I'm gonna focus on your gas. I'm gonna focus on your energy. I'm gonna focus on your food. Like, we're gonna get the like our internal. Like, we're gonna drill. We're gonna supply everybody else with our oil because we're sitting on the biggest, in-ground reserve and barreled reserve in the world. And there's no reason we need everybody else's anymore. We don't need to favor anybody else anymore.
No.
Everybody else is screwing us over left and right. And this is what Trump wants. He's like, fuck everybody else. Let's focus on us for a while. And like, let them figure it the fuck out. But like, board it up. And that's
Dude,
where
he
I'm
wanted
like,
to
at
take
this
us
point,
out of
I'm
the
like, I'm there
UN.
for it.
He
Yeah.
wanted to take us out of the UN and seeing that fucking document that I was showing everybody.
Nikki
Out.
Haley was on the same board fucking 3 years ago. Defund
Yeah.
the UN. Now she's like, fucking, we have to work with the like what?
And it's so funny that everybody
We
forgets.
pay-
Everybody
we-
keeps talking about how the Republicans had this for the first 2 years of Trump, and I'm going, do you not remember they all hated him?
Yeah.
Oh, Trump could have got this done. No, he couldn't have done shit. He couldn't have done shit. They didn't like him. They didn't want. He wasn't part of the team.
I gotta go
They
to the
all
bathroom. I'll
had
be right back.
their
You're
hands.
good. I've gone
in-
twice. You're good.
They've all had their hands in this whole thing. That's why I say I hate both of them. I don't like either side. I think they're both garbage and they're both on the take. And if you don't see the things that they're doing right now and realize they're both on the take of all this stuff, then there's a problem. So I don't like everybody's like, well, you're just a Republican. No, I'm just a person who's just telling you how I feel and how I see it. You can't just sit there and tell me they're not taking money from this, they're not taking money from that, and they're not putting their own fucking pork or whatever into these bills and just being like, well, Trump hates the military. He didn't vote for this. Well, did you read the entire bill? And that's what
I'm
when
gonna
I
tell
first-
y'all right now, y'all listening. Trump was amazing to the military. Gave us jobs. Gave us. You know how many fucking weeks I've spent in the military just sitting around, literally thumbing my ass, baking in the sun, sitting next to a dump truck, not having shit to do because literally there ain't shit on the agenda for the next 2 months. Nothing going on. Once Trump came in, like we were working on projects around the base, You know, like we were actually running equipment, like we were moving equipment, mind you, equipment that was issued to the military at the beginning of the 80s, and it's still in operable use all over the globe. Humvees have been around forever, and they're the most unsafe vehicle, but still, you see them everywhere.
Right.
Like they just recently, in like 2006, designed the Map Vs and all the cool little big tank looking things you see with the 6 wheels. Those were designed in 06 or so by Oshkosh. They weren't released and dispersed out to the fleets until like 2017. So they just sat in a field in rust. So by the time we got them, they needed to be repaired. It was bananas. So much money just out the fucking window, left and right.
Dude, being a military contractor, you have no idea.
Oh, dude, I worked hand in hand with Lockheed Martin, dude. I lost 3 amazing men that worked for Lockheed Martin on Thanksgiving 2012 in a rocket attack in Bagram, Afghanistan. They put them in Russian SWAT huts on the south end of camp, right next to the wall, right just south of the airfield.
I'm
wait,
like,
they
the
put
money
them in
lost,
Russian
not that people lost. All right.
Wait, Russian
I'm talking about
what?
the money.
So Afghanistan used to be completely inhabited by Russia, like completely
Really?
invaded. Yeah.
Yes.
Afghanistan was invaded by Russia. Russia tried to completely dominate the entire, I guess Islamic world all the way up until to Israel in a sense, because nobody fucks with Israel.
Apparently they're trying.
Dude, Afghanistan literally like is a wasteland of just war after war after war after war after war. I would be digging fence hole post and all of a sudden uncover 5 feet in the ground a mortar unexploded, and we would have to shut the whole space down. EOD would come in. It would be recent. It'd be from the 80s, from the 70s, just stuck in the ground.
Dude?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. I'd have to have a fully up armored excavator with a peephole this big as I'm digging a fucking hole just to put a fence in around a security camp for prisoners.
Yes.
Right next to where I sleep, like 25 feet away. I'm like, holy shit! There's a fucking like 3-foot mortar in the ground right here. Been paved over, concrete, everything, roller, vibrating roller, to put the concrete down and the asphalt. Like, holy, our welders, like gas, all of it, torches, right there. Like literally, the corner of that building was where I was digging with a fence hole digger. Just right into the open ground. All of a sudden, some white powder poofed. And I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I'm like anthrax.
Well,
Holy
dude, David,
Yeah, it's gunpowder.
you do realize who put Saddam Hussein in power, right?
Us,
Yep.
just like Muammar Gaddafi. And then we got rid of that guy
And then
in the most
Desert-
brutalic way possible
I believe it was Desert
on
Storm,
World Star.
right? I
They
mean,
shoved a knife up his ass on World Star and gutted him in the
Dude.
streets. Muammar Gaddafi.
Yeah.
And Hillary Clinton laughed about it hours later.
I mean, let's
Like,
just be honest.
what,
He
dude?
did die like a dog.
But
So
why? But why?
He was a sacrificial lamb.
He objectifies
y'all
the
motherfuckers
world's
do some
plan,
no,
dude.
no. Hold on. Y'all motherfuckers do some wicked ass shit out there. All right. My ass, when I was a military contractor, I went out to Afghanistan for almost a month, and I did have to stay on base, but we were upgrading some shit. Y'all do some wicked ass shit. There's some things that I saw there that I'm not gonna say because YouTube would be like, "Fuck you."
Landstuhl too was like the hospital to go to if you got hurt. Like, unfortunately,
hell yeah.
I got hurt enough to get categories, but I wasn't in action. I was hurt on a fucking construction site. A mortar went off and it shook the grounds, and I wasn't harnessed in like a dumbass on top of ceiling rafters, and I fell right through putting sheets down of plywood and fell 11 feet, 12 feet right to the concrete and just threw my leg at the kneecap just straight off to the side. And then
God.
blast my back.
Fucker. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, straight L, like an L wrench. But yeah, they rushed
Apparently
me
you've
straight
never
out
been
of
in
there. Dude.
heists.
They
Listen,
rushed.
I told you motherfuckers, I've never been west of fucking Pennsylvania. You think I went to Oshkosh, wherever the fuck he
Oh,
was?
You
dude,
don't
they
know better
fucking
about
flew
that.
me from California to Maine to Ireland, sat in Ireland for I have no idea how many days because our landing gear broke. So we just sat in the smoke pit and drank the one bar terminal. Like we had a terminal all to ourselves, our whole battalion, like 300 troops. So we had like a USO store or a shop store that had a little bit of everything, cigarettes and shit. Bought out all the nicotine products. Bought out like all the little funny like gaggy stuff, and then the bar was completely almost drained, dude. Like cognac survived and a couple other things. Like it was bananas. Just smoking cigarettes, watching planes take off for hours.
I want to hold up really quickly. I want to go back to Tori says that they're going after Trump because they can't control him. He's not in their pockets like Biden is. Yeah, which is true. Adam says, yeah, rebuilding us first before we keep spreading ourselves thinner and thinner, which is absolutely true. We need to stop sending money and everything. I said this a long time ago. We need to stop sending money to other countries because fuck them. We're like the kid that like Richie Rich who pays for all his friends, and as soon as we stop paying for all our friends, you watch all the motherfuckers are gonna turn on us. And the only reason why they like us because we give them money. Tori said our government and political parties are just like our criminal justice system, inherently broken. We need to rebuild from the ground up. Absolutely. Amanda says need revolution. Take note from France. Baby Viking said he never hated the military.
Talking about Trump always respecting it. Yeah,
respect. Broken and Frankenstein equipment. And Baby Viking says I'm America first, and Tori says she is a see you next Tuesday. I don't know who she's talking about.
I have no idea. Barbells. On that topic you brought up about having the card and getting your permit, you did it the right way. You got your legalizational card first, but technically you don't have to disclose that information when getting your permit. There's a gray area to that whole thing. At least that's how it is here.
I mean, all you have to do is just bring up Hunter Biden did it.
Yeah, I mean,
you just don't even have to mention it. They don't ask. Crack. They don't check. They're not going to search your database or anything. Like literally, you pay them the money. The instructor signs the paper.
Can we talk about how funny Hunter Biden videos are? He literally is like an old. He's in his 50s. I mean, he's like 10 years old. They had cell phones when he was probably in his 20s. He should have known how to work an iPhone in his 30s. And he takes videos like,
right,
dude, why are you filming this shit?
Why are you questioning that?
He's got a cell phone in a fucking deprivation chamber.
We have tons of female friends that have openly admitted to receiving unsolicited squirrel photos from the toilet from men, and it's like you're gonna question him doing that on drugs? Like, of course. Have you seen the Steve-O documentary when he was in his apartment doing whippets? Like, come on, dude.
I mean, you don't even have to look at that. Just
like, that kid ain't got a worry in the world. Ma, the light bulb in my Easy Bake went out. Like, fucking come on.
By the way,
the stuff that Marjorie Taylor Greene blacks out in these hearings. That's all you gotta. Just, dude, what?
But listen, if I had a fucking hammer like fucking Hunter Biden, though, that dude's got a double fister. I would fucking be doing the same.
Triple fister.
Are you willing to put it up against my? Are you willing to put it up against my hammer legend? Can he honk a boat horn?
I don't listen. I've never heard of the Ryan
Lee holds the throne, bro.
I don't know, man. Hunter Biden's a kind of a close second. Hunter.
That woman's got her fucking hands out, and the black bar on that shit is literally end to end on the photo.
I don't know. I haven't seen this video. I'm glad I haven't. But you just mentioned black. So this is like those Asian kind of videos. Like, is this what
no? So there's a
only
video
blurred male genitalia?
If it was Asian, it'd just be a little
blurb.
I mean, if I want to be generous.
I've seen a video. I saw the video of Hunter sliding down the slide, and I swear to God, I saw a parasail on his stomach.
Hold on, wait a minute.
I swear to you,
slid down a slide.
He was slid down a slide with using a fucking parasail. When he got in, it was
right
in his birthday suit.
Yes,
that's a technical foul. Any man knows that just off of philosophy.
It was like one of the listen. It was like one of the ones in a backyard. It wasn't that big, but like, dude was fucking. And he just came out and he was like, and I'm like, listen, I don't like what your parents and your family do, but damn it, mister, congratulations.
let me catch that weirdo at my daughter's playground.
Well, that would be his father.
That
Well,
motherfucker's at Disney. What the
'cause
fuck is
there
he
some
doing?
things he did overseas that were kind of questionable, but I mean, it's his father you really have to worry about.
I
He's
just
got-
Kim, like, can you imagine what happens when the Obama daughters are old enough to act
Oh
all
my-
wild and shit and get on the news? What are they, like
And-
14, 15 nowadays?
I mean,
they're like 34 right now. They're
You
they're,
the
remember
they're,
Obama
Chelsea
daughters?
Clinton?
Are they
they're
really?
both in their 20s. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, no
Yes.
shit. I still
Dude, it
picture
was-
them like
what was it,
little girls in
2000
dresses and shit in the inauguration. I don't know, dude.
I
That's
saw
like-
one of them the other day smoking weed like after college graduation.
so they have.
You
gone the
remember
Olsen
Chelsea
twins
Clinton?
son.
How wild she got?
Oh my god, I miss Chelsea.
I mean, they did make a decent.
I'm pretty sure
fucking-
my buddy had a Chelsea Clinton poster in his room.
Listen, she was an Ohio 7. All right, I'll give her that.
Hey, dude, I'm in Michigan. Shit rolls downhill, so she was a good 6 here.
Now she's a California 3.
She's looking like more and more like mom long in the tooth every fucking day.
Oh my god.
God.
But I mean, yeah, I
The
mean,
Budweiser frog.
that's gay.
Jesus.
Gay wise.
Zer. Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan Mulvaney.
All right. Let's do something here. I want to get y'all's take on this. Y'all gotta hear this. Now, this just happened just yesterday. All right, we covered it today on our Voice of the People channel. The entire hearing. I just want to play a little, just one person's questioning, line of questioning. She has 2 questions. The first one, it's a trigger point. Put this on screen real quick.
Thank you for all of you appearing before our committee today. I yield back, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Now, I want y'all to realize this is a hearing about Chinese hacking, like the cyber warfare, right? This is a hearing about this. Listen to this first question.
Chairman, I want to thank each of our witnesses for leading extraordinary agencies at a time of great turbulence and instability in the world. Our cybersecurity capabilities are perhaps one of our greatest threats and opportunities in the 21st century. We must do more to deter and respond to threats to our systems coming from the hostile actors across the world, including North Korea, Russia, and Iran. And we know the Chinese Communist Party has incredibly sophisticated cyber infrastructure and will become, or has been discussed today, already one of our fiercest competitors on this front. One of our greatest assets, something which the CCP overlooks, is our diversity. As Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi and Vice President Kamala Harris have both said, our diversity is our power. One aspect in which we can and must do so much more is to build and rely on a diverse pool of talent in the field of cybersecurity. I know this is a top priority for the Biden-Harris administration and for all of you as leaders of your respective agencies. So turning to you, Director Coker, I know this topic is something important to you and you have spoken about it before. Can you speak on the administration's broad effort to increase our cyber workforce by sourcing talent from diverse places and the benefit it brings to our ability to combat CCP efforts?
All right, before we go any further, what does skin color have to do with cybersecurity? Davey done dipped.
I mean, isn't like every Transformers movie hacker like some form of ethnicity in the past? Either
Chinese
Asian
people
or African.
Chinese
if I
people
remember
are
correctly.
scared of black people. That's the truth.
Jesus.
I
It's all
mean,
in that.
look what they're doing.
Is this
to the Uyghur
what is it?
Muslims.
Jeremy Woo shit again?
But no,
Is that the basketball player's name? I apologize. If I got
Jeremy
that wrong.
Lin.
Jerry Lin. What? I'm
Jeremy-
sorry.
Lin Sanity. They had a documentary. Dude, that was
Yeah.
amazing. That dude just came out of nowhere. And here we go. We just came out of nowhere. Nothing again. Amanda said ADHD train. I love it. Like I said. But yeah, no, it's I heard it somewhere that they think there's some kind of ghosts. I don't, dude. Like I said, I probably heard it on a TikTok somewhere. But I don't like. What is that? Like you said, what does adversity have to do with the CCP? Like, why?
I
Why
mean,
is
they got
hiring?
Uyghur Muslims in camps. You think they actually care about you being black? So why should we care about you being black?
No, they're gonna fucking off us no matter who we are because they don't care.
I'm white and they'll kill me.
I think this is just like a keyword thing. They have to say these
Oh, yeah.
keywords to grasp the audience.
And
Dude,
by the
you
way,
have no
Like,
idea.
wait, did they just say people of color? That's me.
did they say diversity?
Like,
You have no idea. I listen to these hearings. We go through them
wild.
all the time in every single hearing. In every single hearing, there is always one of 5 in these hearings that will bring up race in everything.
Tori said, "My one master's is cyber intelligence. I apparently missed a course with diversity and skin color were talked about." Apparently, you fell asleep that day, overslept, and you missed that semester. Apparently, I have no idea.
Apparently,
Hey,
it was one
hey,
day
but
that
you
they
noticed
skipped
that-
you.
hey, if it says anything about anything, I did just introduce Victoria to KFC for the first time this year, 2024.
Well, now we
Can
gotta
I-
go ahead.
Can I say how much I love the things that Tori doesn't know? I fucking and the things
It's the
that Tori
most
doesn't
random
like.
shit, and you're like, wait, what?
It is
Do
amazing.
you know about Popeyes?
It's
No.
so, and I don't want to like. And Tori,
Just
don't.
never
We're
had it, I
not
guarantee
laughing
it.
at you. We are laughing with
KFC.
you, and the fact that you don't know this stuff is
Oh,
just
this is
amazing.
the pilot view.
Is amazing.
It
I bet
is.
it's just
It's incredible.
computer
It's like,
science.
holy shit, I get to teach an adult about a fucking
It's
famous
dude.
bowl. Like, this is amazing.
We have
Like, what do you think of that mashed potato, cheese, gravy, fucking chicken
Like-
nugget combo, dude?
I live on the outskirts of the ghetto. Okay, like the house me and my wife own. It's like half the entire area is like half Section 8, half person owned kind of thing, right? They literally, I swear to God, they put this in the. They told us they literally built a Popeyes because it's a black district. They said it. they built
just
the
built one
Popeyes
here.
up the road because it's a black district, and they're fucking packed.
I mean, Kelly Osbourne said it the best. Donald Trump, if you take away all the immigrants, who's going to clean your toilets?
I'm
Or
not
Adler.
even kidding you. You want to hear something funny, but it's fucked up. My local neighborhood, it's a fairly uppity neighborhood. I moved up here where my daughter's mother lives. We're separated now, but I still stay up here so that way I'm in my
I didn't even
daughter's
know
like.
about this.
So there's a large chemical plant here. This is where it was founded and started like many, many years ago. We have a sister city in Japan that also has a very large chemical company that is, big on Wall Street. But anyway, they just they just put it in a Popeyes here, and literally there is a local trash page on Facebook that like if anybody's got something shitty to say about a local business or something, they put it in there or just so complain about the city or whatever. And like it was just 3 days straight after the grand opening of everyone going, I forgot how good KFC was. KFC sales on the uprise with Popeyes opening just down the road. Like it was bananas, dude.
Remember when they had the big chicken
like-
sandwich fight?
Oh,
God.
God, that was so dumb. It was so dumb.
And Popeyes was like, "We'll build your chicken sandwich.
Every
Just
single
bring
one
your
gave
own
me
bun."
a stomach ache from the amount of grease. Like, so here's the thing, like people didn't understand, like you were making those fryers work overtime. People are dropping frozen pucks of chicken into that grease. They're just cooling the temperature down of that grease, but those people don't
Right.
care, dude. They're like, it's in until the timer goes up. Blast that thing out. Now you got an undercooked, greasy ass meat thing going into a bun with mayonnaise. Like, enjoy your day.
The bun that you
Oh.
brought.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of rough, but seriously, like I don't understand this whole diversity thing that we've got going on right now. Like I don't get it.
It's strategy, man. It's the
Divide
migration.
and conquer.
It's
divide and
conquer.
literally.
These are the same people the same people that not too long ago were screaming, "Why are you looking at me because of the color of my skin?" And now are saying you must look at me because of the color of my skin.
I mean, literally, I've grown up in an area where skin color means nothing.
I mean, I
Nothing.
did too. The
And
first
it's
time I ever came across any kind of racism is when I hung out with a black friend in middle school, and his mom said, "Don't ever bring a white person to the house."
I
That was
really
the first
like
time I ever
using
came
this.
across racism.
I really like using this reference nowadays. Remember the old Dr. Seuss cartoon of
Which
the
one?
star bellies and the non-star bellies? The guy with the magic
Yes.
truck showed up on the beach one day and it just opened up a machine and the non-star bellies went through the machine and got a star. And then the star bellies, the original star bellies got pissed off. So they're like, we want our star. We're like, we don't want these people here. So they had their stars removed and then they were on the other side of the island. They just kept going back and forth all fucking day until the guy made a fortune and then packed up and left. When they all were just random and they were like, we don't care, we're people. Like, literally, it's what's going on now. Like, all throughout school, it's like I was saying, is like, it feels like we went through a time where, like, we were in the schools that our parents went to, but, like, we weren't being taught the same shit. Like, all the original equipment was there, and you felt like you were getting half of what people before you were taught, like a rushed version. Like, the old gym equipment was there, but you never got to use it. You're like, what's that for? Oh, we used to make the kids climb on the ropes and stuff. Like, wait, what? We could do that? Like, no, you can't. Not anymore. Like, this is what you do. You run and you play kickball. It's like,
This can't be real.
what?
This can't be real.
A generator?
A
Oh, yeah,
generator
dude,
on an electric
self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency, bro.
How is that a gas fucking generator into an electric car?
These electric vehicles are both to make you more broke and literally just to fall into this agenda of just making us all inadequate to take care of anything.
The fuck?
Well, I mean,
please do not buy electric vehicles because all it is making you is reliable on somebody else entirely to be able to repair and keep that thing on the road. And it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. You thought Harley Davidsons were expensive?
It doesn't work in extreme heat or extreme cold. So
yeah.
But climate change, ladies and gentlemen,
it's a battery, like your remote control.
That's the thing that people don't understand. Like,
it's an RC car.
How many times can you recharge a battery? Like, how many cell phones have you had?
Remember the vape crisis with the lithium batteries exploding?
Yeah,
I was a part of that group.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about them fucking singular batteries that you had to pop into the box mods and stuff.
But how many phones have you had that you had, like, your iPhone and the battery on it is dead after like an hour because you recharged it so many fucking times? How many times do you think you can recharge a car battery until you got to get rid of the car?
Manda's down there. What's the
the battery's like
what's the
25,000.
dealership sticker on a battery? Yeah.
Well, she's
It's
not
like
she's not a dealer. She works on the
Well, I mean,
assembly
she's
line.
got to have an idea or has heard before because that kind of talk always gets kicked around the mechanics.
I always had gas vehicles. I'll never go electric. Like,
well, here's the thing.
Me
like,
being in the South, I can't go electric because I got to go 20 fucking miles just to go to work. All right, it's not a thing. Yeah, you can get a couple 100 miles off of a single charge, but
they say about what 300 miles, about the same as my cruise.
About 300 miles, but you have to get like the what was it, like the 30.
But that's without air. That's max distance. That's without air conditioning, radio, or any of your. You're not charging your phone or drawing any kind of power source.
No radio.
All
no
of that
nothing.
adds up.
Yeah,
all of that dwindles power, just like a gas vehicle.
And then what? You got to go to some place and you got to spend 45 fucking minutes to let your car gas up so you can go another 300. It's going to be like you're going to get dysentery by the time you hit Chicago when you leave Indiana. It's stupid.
It is.
It's fucking stupid. Our chances can go 60,000 hours of recharge before the battery is unusable. 60,000 hours.
And then you got to trash it and spend how much on that battery just to no.
And I don't even think the batteries are replaceable. You have to buy a new fucking car.
Well, in Teslas they are replaceable, but they're like 20 to 25 depending
but also
on
with
the model.
And the
I
thing
wonder
with
how many
Teslas,
hours my car has on it. I've driven it so far. I bought it with 22,000 miles on it. It has 170 on it now. I
you
bought it
have a
the end of 2019.
you have an EV?
No, it's a Chevy Cruze gas, the four
Oh,
banger. But I'm just curious on like the hours on the motor and everything. I got.
I have an hours meter on my car,
Mhm.
and it's been running for like I've had it for a little over a year, and it's been running for last time I looked at that thing, which was a couple months ago, for 300 something hours. So
Man,
we're
this-
already, we've done a little dent in that 60,000 hour mark. I'm not kidding them. Fuck you.
Amanda said you can replace it once under the warranty. Oh, thanks.
Now
No.
I would consider the Rivian just because I'm a
Oh,
Michigan boy.
It's a
And
cool truck.
it's a sexy.
It's so
for
cool.
camping. For camping,
Yeah.
because if it truly comes with a solar panel rechargeable, upgrade where it will recharge the battery in the sun. I'm a Michigan man. I'm all about the outdoors, and if I can pull my truck up and do a little pop up in the back, and it's fully electronic with a self generator inside, I pull a little slide out, and it's a kitchen,
Yeah.
all in my truck.
But that has to be like
Fuck.
only for fucking. But that would be only for camping.
Yeah,
Like you take that truck.
that
only
stays in the
just
garage.
Yeah. The rest of the time you need a fucking
Beater
wish
with
I
a
still-
heater, dude.
I wish I still had my Hyundai Accent 95 Hyundai Accent, bro. That thing was fucking amazing.
I'm telling you, man, the Chevy Cruze between the years of 2013 and 2017, that thing is the modern Geo Metro. Like, oh,
I want a 5-banger so badly. I miss having a manual. I miss
They
it
come in
so
manual.
much. I miss a
manual.
manual so much. The first car I had, the Hyundai Accent, got like 40 miles to the gallon. It was just this little tiny. They called it the little green machine. Well, everybody called it because I drove everybody all the way all around, and fucking it just was like 40 miles to the gallon. It was awesome. That car was the greatest. And I fucked it up because I was 17 and I just fucking did what 17-year-olds do. Played bumper cars with a friend who had an AMC from 1975, and we were just ramming each other, and I'm just like, aha, look at the
We
dents.
used to
And then I got
drift the
home.
dirt roads, drift all the dirt roads out in the cornfields, dude. And the
Get
Buicks.
home and my dad's like, what the fuck did you
Grand
do to the
Prix.
car? I don't know. My friend, we were playing. And now I understand why my dad got mad at me so much. I really understand why my parents
wrecking
didn't
all of
think-
his shit.
Right?
That's how I am now. I'm like, we're wrecking my shit between the dog and the kid.
I'm sitting here going, will you stop yelling? And I'm like, I sound like my father. What the fuck? But you get it as an adult. That's what kids don't like kids. As a kid, you're like, why am I being yelled at? We're just laughing. Because my dad yelled at me one time. Me and my sister were laughing so hard and just having a good time. My dad's like, will you shut the fuck up already? And we were just like, why are we yelling? And now I'm driving and the kids are like in the back of the car. And I'm like, will you just shut the fuck up already? We're just trying to have fun.
My fun was sitting in the back dash of a car, picking my nose, watching everybody go by.
The old
No,
Buick
but,
Skylark back in the
I mean,
day.
you got to go through all that shit again here soon, Davey.
Yeah,
So,
I do. You want it? I can play the video.
we
Oh,
never
yeah, you
played that
never did
video
that.
from the
Yeah, no.
beginning.
So, I mean, everybody for the most part has seen it. But, ladies and gentlemen, this was
Thomas
on.
cut out.
Yeah, she cut you out because she said she tried to put you on another video. She tried to put a video of us on TikTok, and it wouldn't let her download it.
How much time do we got left
It's
on this
because of
bad
me.
boy, by the way, too?
Whatever.
Oh, whenever.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm down. If you guys are down to go after this, have you guys discussed Disease X or anything about that yet?
No.
Roger.
These memories will
I remember this day. I'm sitting there trying to talk to him, and his ass is just like not paying attention.
Yeah, I got to take a commercial break. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay.
Congratulations, Senor Papa. To
Thank
be.
you. Yeah, Tori was right. I am gonna start crying again.
But now I remember that because he's just like,
Rich
and
was
everything
actually
tanked. I'm trying to talk to his ass, and he's just.
What are you doing, you crazy man, bringing a baby into this crazy world?
I know, right?
night baby Viking. Listen, I've wanted another one for a long time, a long fucking time, and I came to the I thought it wasn't gonna happen. I came to terms with it, and I was okay with it, and I was like, it is what it is, and then nice 1.1K. I came to terms with it, and when we first took the first test and it was negative, and I was just like, it is what it is. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't. I don't think it's in the books for me. I got Spencer, I got Cody, I got Madison, and I'm good. I'm good with that. And then that happened, and I was just like I'm still like, this is not real. Like I'm still like, this is not fucking real right now. And then I saw the picture, and like I can't stop looking at it. Like I can't fucking stop, and it's so.
I remember that feeling.
It's so like. It hits every once in a while again. It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna be a dad again. And it's just so like, and I don't know, man. It's such a great feeling, and the fact that that I found Amanda, and I keep reminding her, I'm like, listen, fucking 5 months ago, you wanted nothing to do with me. You wanted nothing. You didn't even want to fucking meet. You didn't want to nothing. Every time somebody would go, hey, you and Davey are close to each other, and you just get this look like, anyway, so this and this and this and that, and look at this and look at that. It was just like nothing. And I keep reminding her, I go, listen, 5 months ago, you didn't want nothing to do with me. And now look at this. We're making a fucking life together. And and I always thought, like, I didn't want to be the old dad, but you know what? In the same token, everybody's like, oh, you're starting over again. Like, yeah, I'm starting when I'm supposed to be starting, because you know what? I'm in a great place in my life. I was a drunk for 20 years, man. I was a bad alcoholic, as a father or a parent, for that matter. Undescribed. Yeah. I was an alcoholic for like 20 years, and it wasn't a good thing that, to bring a child in as an alcoholic. I said single and staying that way. On all, yeah, she did. It was she was intent on staying single, and I had come to terms, like I was like, okay, well, I'm an alcoholic. It's not gonna happen. And then I quit drinking, and then my last relationship ended the way it did, and then me and Amanda got together, and the greatest thing about mine and Amanda's relationship is we started both with communicating, telling each other what we kind of expected. Like, listen, this is what it is. This is how I am. This is how I am. This is how I am. And I was told, like, listen, just be honest with me. I don't care. You have a past. I have a past. That's fine. We can put the past behind us. I don't care. And so the communication that we have is amazing. And I couldn't do that a while ago. Like, I was in therapy, and the therapist goes, you sure you still need therapy? And I'm like, did I graduate therapy? Is that a fucking thing?
Yeah.
And she's like,
yeah.
She's like, well, I mean, not graduating, but like, you can always come back if you need it. But I think you're better than where you were. And I said, okay, all right. So like, I wasn't ready. And now I'm so fucking ready as to be a dad and to be more responsible than I ever was. Listen, I made a lot of mistakes, especially with my daughter. I made a tremendous amount of mistakes. I fucked up really badly. I was selfish. I was drunk. I didn't want to do things with her. I would make excuses not to see her because I wanted to drink and have fun and party. And I fucked up, and I'm paying for it now. I really am. I'm paying for it now. She doesn't want to be a part of my life. And I get it. I fucking get it. I was just, hey, I stayed, I paid, this is what dad's supposed to do. I'm supposed to stay and pay and see her everyone. But no, I wasn't as active as I should have been. And so I feel that now I've matured. I've actually, I'm a 25-year-old now. I can, I'm a little more mature. My brain is a little more functioning. I should be at the age of I can vote now, which is good.
Mm.
But it's I have the ability now to be a better person than I was before. And I thank God for the path that led me to where I am now. And for this to happen. And it couldn't have happened with a better person. A lot of people will say different, like psychologists will say a lot different about Amanda, that I shouldn't have done this. But anyway, yeah.
He's right.
And I think she said fuck you from the other room. But I never thought I'd be 41 living in Kansas City, Missouri and having a baby. And if I told that to 18-year-old me, I'd disappear like Marty McFly in Back to the Future because I would have had a heart attack.
You are also Hispanic. It's just kind of like your birthright just to pop out babies.
I thought it was broken, okay? Okay, I thought it was broken and didn't work. And what happened?
Well, you said it. You got all that toxin out of your life,
Yeah.
and you stopped drinking and shit. Got healthy for the most part. And, start to take care of yourself, and then your mental health. It's all about mental health. You know Joey Diaz, right? Comedian.
Yeah, of course I do.
Oh my
Yo,
God,
fucking
dude.
cocksucker.
Fucking
Yo.
protein powder and squats, motherfucker.
Yo, I was
If y'all ever get the chance, see Joey Diaz live. That dude is fucking hilarious.
Yo, me and three fucking Cubans, we just took over fucking Newark. It was just three of us. Me, two 8-balls, and a fucking 2 other Cubans. We fucking took over fucking Newark Avenue at 3 a.m. We just took the fucking place over.
Dude, I
The
love
story that he was telling about the trying to break into this house and this cat attacked him. That shit was fucking
Oh, that's when
hilarious.
he took a shit in the neighbor's yard, and the lady thought a bear shit in her backyard. He tried to climb in the back window because he locked himself out, and the cat was like fucking with him, scratching at him and shit. He's like, "Stop! I'm trying to get the fuck in here." Oh,
But
dude, yeah.
I
dude.
definitely am proud of you, Davey. I
Fuck
really
yeah.
am, dude. I mean,
I remember that day, man. I remember getting that news too. Like, it's as a man, it's just like, whoa, like it just sets you back in place. It puts you like right back in, like, okay, lock and load. Now, how do you feel? You feel like nesting now, don't you?
Oh my God, yeah.
You want to change shit around the house left and right.
I'm just.
That's
Okay,
exactly what happened to me, dude. I tore down a pool and started adding on to the house and remodeling bathrooms and shit. Like, I'm like, we must do this. She's looking at me like, what are you doing?
But
I'm tearing apart the house. Leave me alone.
I remember when, like,
fold the wall.
Madison's mom was 5 months pregnant when we found out, so we had like no time. Everything was rushed. Everything had to be done in 4 months, and I was like, and I'm a 20-year-old idiot. I'm in college I had my freedom for the first time, banging everything I could while my girlfriend's at home pregnant. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do, and I'm like, okay. And the judge is like, sir, you have to get a fucking job, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And I didn't know what to do, and now I've done shit. I've had a good life. There's a lot of shit that's not that great, but led me to where I am. And that's what yesterday on the Business Party podcast, we were talking to Andrew Jameson, and he tried to kill himself 7 times. And the last time he did it, he's an EMT medic. He took the proper concoction times 4.
Jesus.
And he survived. Yeah.
I
This fucking dildo over here did too.
Yep.
Like
several times.
6 times?
I can gladly say that I've never attempted. It has come across my mind while on medications, and I had the know-how to immediately bring that to the attention of the people that needed to know. And I've had a lot of like come to moments. I've trust me, I've been on the other end of the phone to,
I'll show it. But,
get people off, off the cliff, off the edge. I have been that person many times on both ends, military and civilian side. It's even wilder on the civilian side. I've seen drug overdoses. I've seen murder. I've seen, war. But
I mean,
Yeah.
I had a
it's
friend
just
playing with a gun and right in front of me
ah.
accidentally go off in his face. But yeah, I've tried 5 times. Once I tried to to lynch myself, I guess would be the best way to put it for YouTube. Um, I remember looking at the clock. I remember passing out. 2 minutes and 47 seconds later, I still had enough strength to pull myself off. I remember at one point in time, bled out. I remember passing out, waking up in the hospital, and the nurse telling me that I called 911 myself. There was one point where I swallowed 250 Tylenol and drank a fifth of Jack, wound up puking, and heard voices for 3 days. And it was everybody in my past just telling me, "What are you doing? Stop it. You're an idiot." That kind of thing. And I knew it was just my brain just messing with me, but it messed with me hard.
Yeah, do you
the
mind if
last
I ask
time-
a couple of things?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like, what exactly was like the big deciding fact? Like, what was the push?
Well, I grew up in a fucked up home.
Okay,
Like,
I was gonna say,
my
was
mom-
this like past longevity abuse?
It was
or-
my entire life kind of thing. My mom was a very violent and abusive woman.
Mhm.
Mentally, physically, it was just all of that. I was always small and skinny. I was always picked on. Like, I never felt like I belonged. Being incredibly smart, it's hard to make friends with stupid ass people.
Yeah, we're
That is a
friends.
thing. Like, I never realized. Like, I would catch on to things incredibly early. I would learn things very quickly, and I just couldn't understand why other people wouldn't get it. It's just like 2 + 2 = 4. Okay, cool. 2 + 2 = 4. The person next to me is like, "I got 2.5 apples." No, you don't, motherfucker. What are you talking about? That kind of thing. I never felt like I really belonged anywhere. I was always made fun of. I was always picked on. Even though I would try to help people and everything like that. I had very abusive family. Everybody that I had any kind of relationship with, except for, three of my best friends. Anybody I had any kind of friendship with or relationship with, it was always just very abusive and just shit on me everywhere I went. The last time I put a 357 to my head, made sure it was a revolver. It was a Ruger. I pulled the trigger. The hammer kicked sideways and damaged the housing around the hammer, so the gun couldn't be used ever again. Hey, you're talking about a Ruger 357 Magnum. Those things do not fucking malfunction. So I was put in a home or institution for that. At the hospital that my best female friend, she was there. She's been literally my best friend for half my life. She was working, and I got out like a week later. I tried to sneak out because I knew she was there that day, right? I tried to sneak out. She would always come to visit me when she was on work. She'd say hi. I tried to sneak out. She came running through the parking lot. I mean, just full speed. Never seen her run so damn fast. She came running through the parking lot, and she was just screaming bloody murder at me. So I stopped and I talked to her, and she was just going off on me. She's like, "How could you do this? How many people have we seen just end themselves? How could you do this? What are you doing to me? You've been here my entire life. What are you doing?" And I mean, she just reared back and just, I've never been slapped so hard in my life. I mean, never. I've been beaten to a bloody pulp as a kid, and I never felt so much pain coming from her. I mean, she came up and down with it. She jumped and hit me. And I was just like, at that moment, it was just, somebody gives a shit. That's all it took. Somebody gives a shit. Why am I doing this? And there were some rough points in my life, but it just came almost to a point to where I started getting to that area again, and that's when I found my wife. You know, I've known my wife since we were in the 4th grade. But I just hit her up and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's have some dinner. I'm lonely. Let's just go out and have a dinner. Let's catch up. I ain't seen you for a while. And we just hit it off from then. And ever since then, it's just been like, I don't have those feelings anymore, you know? And it took Katie smacking the shit out of me and finding my wife to realize that there's some value to my life, you know? And after 5 attempts, there's a reason why I'm here. I do know that. So, yeah, it's a feeling, and I understand. I don't know how the hell we just took it to this dark of a level.
No, you're good, dude. That's beautiful because okay, so my analysis, what I just heard, like I'm just reverbing. So, dude, I'm sorry, like that you had to go through that. I actually know quite a few people growing up. I grew up in a low income, like heavy, you know, mobile home park, or I'm not trying to offend anybody, but they were trailer parks. Like we were the trailer park capital of Genesee County, where I grew up.
Thank you, Barbaros.
Many of those homes were not in the best, like they were 1970s and survived a devastating F5 tornado back in like 84 that took out the whole town of Beecher essentially and started that poverty run and introduced drugs and whatnot to that area. But I'm sorry that you went through that. From what I understand is like you had a mother that just like held you to either some ridiculous standards or just took shit out on you.
I got beat for what my brother and sister did.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest. So yeah.
Yep. You were the yeah.
Punching bag.
That fucking sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
I mean, it is what it is. It made me who I am, and it made me understand that there are things that people go through in life. And
what was fascinating to hear, though, is like you said, your relationship, she struck at you.
Yeah, my best friend, Katie. Yeah,
and then
I mean, that's the first time ever I have ever seen her be violent or incredibly angry.
Yeah,
like to that point, like she can be.
It
like,
triggered that.
Frustrator.
It triggered that memory part in your brain where it's like, no. Female figure like this throwing strikes at me, like nope.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was just.
Did it feel like it awoken something at that point for you though?
It was seeing her like she's always been a fun-loving kind of person. Yeah, she would just get like frustrated and annoyed kind of thing. But it was seeing her just go to a point because of me. Go to a point that I've been in. That I'm an angry dude, you know?
Right?
But seeing her go to that level because of me, I was just like, fuck. You know, I was there when, you know, my best male friend, his sister took her own life. And she was Katie's best friend, you know. And we went through all that together, and she just brought that up. She's just like, we were there. We went through this. You carried me through that. You were the reason why I didn't lose it. So how the fuck are you going to do this to me now? And I'm just like, I got no answer.
Mm-hmm.
I've got nothing other than the fact that it's a selfish thing for me because I felt like nobody ever fucking cared. And then she showed me and I was just like, it's there. There's something, you know? So that was yeah, that's how that happened with me.
Kind of like thinking somebody's a lesbian for 2 years and then realizing she's not.
Well, all right. That's a whole different story altogether.
All right, dude. All right.
No. I have this gaming friend. She goes by the name of Keg. And we used to play this game called Knockout City together. It's like a extreme dodgeball kind of game. Well, her and another friend that we had met through gaming kind of had this little online relationship. I just thought she was a lesbian. You know what I'm saying? Two girls having some kind of relationship together. I just thought she was 2 years. So Davey comes down to Nashville. The first time he comes down to Nashville, we meet up and Keck's with us. And, you know, we're sitting there having fun, just bullshitting. And something comes up and Davey's just looking at her and he's like, yeah, just because you're a carpet muncher. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, you like girls. And she's like, no, I don't. Dude, my jaw hit the fucking table.
Dude, it was like, because we were eating tacos And she's like, she said something about it, and I go, yeah, it's because you're a rug muncher. And she goes, what? And the whole fucking restaurant just stopped.
No. He does. He means it. The entire
restaurant just went
quiet.
silent. And Rich just goes, wait, you're not? And she just starts fucking laughing her ass off. And because some dumb idiot's just like, yeah, it's because you munch box, right? She's like, and Rich is just like, and she's just like, no. And Rich is just like, wait, you're not? And it was the funniest. We were dying for the rest of the fucking night. And she
still fucks with me, man. She still fucks with me about it. I'll text her, be like, hey, how you doing? She's be like, yeah, this lesbian's good. I'm just like, fuck you. All right. You did it. You started it.
I want to go real quick to the comments again. Tori says you might have taken some detours, but you ended up where you're meant to be. That was for me. Amanda said best failure I'm proud of. And I'm so glad too. God, I understand the part so much about being ahead of people and getting frustrated when others can't grasp things. That's someone looking out for you, Rich. She was talking to you. You got someone looking out for you, worth it, and you're meant to be here. Exactly. It's that moment of clarity. I've always compared it to watching your life flash by, but in reality, it feels like the world is moving so in slow motion, and you realize you don't want to go. Whoa, Davey, because of the lesbian comment. And then Adam says, I agree with Amanda. But that's what Andrew was saying yesterday. He said he took all that stuff and he went to call somebody and he couldn't move his arms. And he was like, and he was like, he can feel the life draining out of him. And that was his moment of clarity when he was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And he's like, and I couldn't control it because I had taken everything that I knew was going to end this. And he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And the next thing he knew, he was out, and he remembers his girlfriend rolling him on his side. He was out again. And at the hospital, he heard a voice say, come back here. And the next thing he knew, he snapped at it, and he was alive. And he's like, I took 4 times of what a normal person was supposed to, and I'm still here. And the same thing with Rich is like the gun that wasn't supposed to malfunction, just fucking malfunction. And if that doesn't tell you you're meant for something better or greater, I don't know what will tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't know what will tell you that. And apparently Rich didn't realize that and ended up in a hospital, and some little tiny 5-foot girl had to knock some sense into him.
4'9". She ain't even 5 foot. Like I said, she had to jump.
But everybody's here for a reason, you know, and and everybody goes through a lot of shit. And I like these talks because if it helps just one person who can hear a story like that and know that you come out of the other side, 41 years old in Kansas City, Missouri, want another child and finally going to have one with an amazing person.
Right.
Rich sits online and goes through all this stuff to let everybody know what's going on, and has the ear of some pretty fucking big people, some pretty big fucking people, breaking some news stories to people who, you know, I my jaw drops when he tells me the names of people he's spoken to. And, you know, and Ryan, I mean, you sit on TikTok and you brighten up fucking people's day. Like, you wouldn't have the following you did if you didn't just fucking, you scroll into Rye's room and it just brightens up your fucking day. Like, everybody's here for a reason, and everybody's here for a reason. That's it. Like, it's and we found each other for a reason. Thanks, I'm crying. You know? And if you don't think that it's gonna get better, when you think that it's the worst possible time, you don't even know what fucking tomorrow's gonna bring.
Right.
You never fucking. When my ex left, I thought I was fucking done.
Boom.
I thought I was done.
Yes.
I thought life was fucking over. That's it. Who's gonna sit there with a fucking 40-year-old man, like, you know, and start a new life with him? Not even this girl who said she was gonna be savagely single forever. Like, I had to force a date with her on her birthday to fucking even have a chance. And now 5 months later, 5 fucking months. And here we are, the happiest we both have ever been, about to bring a life into this fucking world. You'd never know what tomorrow is going to fucking bring. So if you think you're down, you think you're out, you're not. You're not down, you're not out. You may be down, but you're not out. So
Right.
if any of this helps just one person, we've done our job. We've done a fucking job, man.
I want to touch on that real quick, Davey, if you guys don't mind, with
Yeah,
the,
go
go
ahead.
the
ahead.
splitting up. So I don't have, you know, a close to call moment for myself. I mean, I kept distracting myself. I got that Ed and Eddie, like, I've worked every fucking job under the sun, no bullshit. Like, I was maybe in a place for 6 months, I'd get bored, I'd leave it. Like, once I got my GED and I found out how simple life was, like, I could just get through everything. Like, if I didn't like a place, I'm out. I'll find another job. I'll sell cars over here. I'll sell work over here. I'll do this. I'll do that. Like, I could easily find money, you know, moving bad shit or, you know, door dashing. But when you guys were talking about that, like, I was trying to, like, relate, like, man, have I really had, I mean, I've had some crazy close calls in life. You know, I've got scars for days that I can go through and be like, well, this was the time that I got stabbed breaking up a fight. Like, it's just like, like, it's stupid. And then I've got my fucking war shit and whatnot. You know, I've returned fire, but rules of engagement in the Navy are a little bit different than the Army. The Army hands out combat action ribbons if you throw, you know, do a desk pop in country, where we have to be like, most of us that I was with, we were an air detachment attached to a battalion. So the battalion was getting pissed off at us because we were from a totally different battalion from Michigan. They were all from Texas, and they wanted to know, like, daily updates on what we're doing. But what we were doing, we were attached to people behind the green fence. Like, I'm like, we were like, sorry, sir. In the reports, like, we can't, like, today we had a meeting at this time. Like, we can't tell you shit about what we're doing. It was like simple shit here and there. But when we left the wire, it was like, no cameras, no hush us. And I was apologizing to my dad today about that. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry that, like, you can't see anything like I accomplished or did. Like, all that is, like, I've close friends that I've shown a couple pictures, but it's like from training. Like, anything from deployment, gone. Like, even the shit I brought home, an ex kept that shit. But, like, my coming to realization or clarity moment was like when I split up with my ex, like my daughter's mother. It was like, for me as a man, that was like, you fucked up, you failed. Like, you were supposed to keep that family together. And, like, all I heard in my head was like, you did that Bill Burr dad voice earlier, Davey. And that's like all I was hearing in my head was my dad, like, how could you fucking do this? Like, you're supposed to, because my family, somehow my parents stayed together, as dysfunctional and fucking chaotic and eruptive and toxic as fuck as that environment was. You know, as soon as my dad came home, that was like the, like firehouse was going on Kiss, and it was nothing but sirens and fire everywhere, dude. Like, if he wasn't happy, the whole house wasn't allowed to be happy. So, like, that's how I lived growing up. So
Pretty much the
when,
same.
dude,
But
when
it
I
was
got
with
kicked,
my mother.
I got kicked to the curb by my daughter's mother at the time, and it was just like, a holy fuck, what do? You literally conformed your entire life to this, and now you have nothing. Like, you know, no equity, no car. You gave that up, so you drive the family car, which is in her name. Like, you didn't do anything for yourself, dumbass. And then it didn't help. Like, I was living at my sister's 2 weeks later. She's trying out a new relationship already to see if it would, you know, move on to something else. She was just trying to bury me and forget me and move on. I understand her way, but
That hurts.
at that time,
fucking
it
hurts.
fucking hurts, dude.
That
And it was
hurts.
about this time, 2019, and you're just, you're going through those levels of, like, psycho dude levels where you're like, bro, back it down. Like, you're having that talk with you. You're
Yeah.
like, you can't do that shit. Like, you cannot. And then you kind of push, you do drive by here and there, and you're just like, then you just get build up that fucking anger in your head. And one day it just fucking just poof from me. And it was cow patty enhancement grass, or whatever the fungi you want to call them.
Shrooms?
Yes, I did it with somebody who could channel, like, who knew what to say at the time and kind of channel my thoughts. And I went into like a hypnosis, and it just like kind of just cleared me of all of that anger and stress and worry. And I'm like, just focus on your baby, dude. Like you're still there, you're still involved, like you still can do things. Like you can still make a difference. You didn't fuck up completely. Now you have to be 2.0. You have to be like something even better than before, because now you have an opportunity to show her how you would live life, and then also she's going to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Like it just
gotta
but
hit the
I
button
mean,
again.
I could
We'll
have
be right back.
easily at that moment had that breaking time, and
Yeah. Listen, I
Dude.
get it. So Madison's mom literally went on vacation with the guy she married at the end of our relationship. Like
Mhm.
we hadn't broken up, and she went on vacation with her friend's brother, and the guy she ended up marrying. And it was rough. Like
Yeah.
it was really rough. And we didn't have the greatest relationship. You know, listen, I was a fucking asshole. And I completely understand why she hates me. And I, you know, I tell her, listen, I get it. I understand why you hate me. But like, you know, it- you the transformation and it explains a lot why your dad came home and the fireworks started, why you live in Pee-wee's Playhouse now and you just make the fireworks happen in the house. Like, fuck it, let's just fucking throw things all over the place. Let's just have fucking
Dude, I have
dude,
been the standout kid since I can remember. Like, my parents would tell me stories of, like, when we would take you places, people would remember us. Like, they would be like, "Oh, fuck, they're back with that kid." Because I would jump out of shopping carts and run the store and fucking hide and shit and be like, "Can't catch me," and shit, like, through Walmart, just zigzagging through the frozen goods and stuff. Kicking my nurse as she's trying to give me a shot. She'd have a bruise for her life on her kneecap. Like, I was a hellion child, blowing shit up in the neighborhood with the freaking boys and stuff, like skipping school. Like, dude, it was so bad. I was interconnected with 3 other schools. I was the Stifler of my high school. Like, you wanted to party? We're gonna go, hop into this abandoned house up for sale and, squat in it for the night. We've already got the key for it out of the lockbox. We hammered it earlier. Like, dude, I was at a party at a university party once, and literally bullshitting earlier that day with the frat house that we were partying at. They were just talking about getting a ping pong table. I'm like, you need you need a bigger one, like an oversized one. You got the space, and so many people hover around it. And I was like, it'd be hilarious is like if you mocked up like with plywood the road sign for the university exit. And they're like, "Oh my god, dude, that would be so fucking cool, this and that." I bullshit you not. 2008, we're all downstairs in the greenhouse of this university in Flint, Michigan, dude. And all of a sudden, these construction workers come running down, white shirts, vest, hard hats. They're like, "Clear the way, move, everybody, move, move." All of a sudden, they come carrying in this big object with a white sheet on it. Dude, they throw the fucking highway sign down on their table. Squish all the cups, everything, but boom, there it is, the highway sign from the highway. I'm like I was joking.
Guys, I was only kidding.
I was kidding. You don't know me. You don't know me. Like, dude.
Ryan's house is Mr. Megorium's Wild Wonder Emporium.
It's just, yeah, it is all like little trinkets and oddities from yard sales and shops, and yeah. There's not a dull wall in my house. I love it.
Let's do this thing. All right, this is actually going to be kind of a good segue into the Rumble Only section here. We got one more thing. I'm going to go ahead and nix the migrants beating the cops kind of situation. Okay, but I got one more thing for y'all, and it's going to be a great segue into the Rumble Only section here. This comes from the same thing. This is the next question after the skin color situation. This is very, very telling. Ladies and gentlemen, remember the whole Russia hacked the election to get Trump to win? 2020 was supposed to be the most safe and secure election ever. The red wave that never came in 2022. Huh.
Thank you so very much. I now want to turn to another important topic which weighs on all of our minds, and that's the 2024 national election. As we frequently remind everyone, the 2020 presidential election was the safest, most secure election in our nation's history.
Was it?
However, the 2016 election preceding it was scarred by Russian hacking and broad disinformation campaigns, which severely compromised the integrity of the election. Anyone on the panel, if you would be willing to answer the question or address this, in an unclassified setting, is there any evidence at this time the CCP is using artificial intelligence to interfere in the U.S. elections? And how do we ensure this election is free from CCP influence?
If
And
you
I
got to
only have 8
tell everybody the
seconds, so.
same lie over and over again, I think you're lying. If you keep having to tell everybody, no, it's as safe as secure. Listen.
You know what I'm honestly hear from this? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Okay.
how much are we hearing about AI nowadays?
A lot.
A lot. Like
A
Elon
lot.
Musk was even like, "Hey, I'm fucking scared as hell of AI." Like, have y'all not seen Terminator?
Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, you guys you want to do AI? Like, you want to do iRobot? Is that what you
What if
want to
it's
do?
already there at this
It
point,
is.
dude?
It is.
Like, what if they're just going off
It
of it?
is.
Like,
It
literally,
is.
this is what we're like.
Listen.
They're just
listen.
trying to read the script that they're told to say by the AI.
You know full fucking well whatever the military and the government has.
You mean
10,
like
15
lasers
years
that cause
later-
earthquakes and volcanoes and tornadoes?
10,
Yeah.
15 years later, the public will know about. The public will have in their control.
Oh, absolutely.
The fact that we have large language models and, we got Grok and ChatGPT and everything, they've had that shit. What do you think facial recognition is? That was the start.
Oh, dude, that was Afghanistan for sure. Every gate had that shit. A scanner
That
bar
was the
thingy.
start, and that was back in the 90s and shit too. When that started to be rolled out. No, it's already here. Yes, you are correct. It is already here. The fact that they are still talking about it now, the fact that they are starting to say, "Hey, this is a problem," means they already know, and they can't control.
Well, also with this voter thing too, it's like they have to fucking keep putting some blame somewhere else. Of course, like of course you have to. If you're caught this much into a lie, you have to put the narrative on somebody else. Like that's just like lying 101. It wasn't
Russiagate.
us. It's Russia. Well, we can't Russia. We already disproved it. Like people have gone far out of the way and spent thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to disprove that whole Russia collusion shit.
Yep.
Then it was like, now it's the CCP, and that CCP is an easy target. Like now
Everybody
everybody's
hates
afraid
them,
of
yes.
everybody's afraid of China. The original Red Dawn movie was it not, or is it?
Yeah,
not?
that was China.
Yeah.
It's China.
Then it became Russia, or was it Russia then China?
No, it was
No,
China.
no, it was China.
It was China,
and
and
then
then I think the remake
North
was
Korea
probably
was
Russia.
No,
Was
the
it-
North Korea was the
Okay.
remake.
It's
But-
just- mm.
It is telling. Listen to this woman's answer.
-11 seconds.
Probably
I'll allow
defer to my Intel colleagues on whether the CCP is actively using artificial intelligence. But based on the DNI's report in December about the activity in the 2022 midterms, which talked about the aggregate scope and scale of foreign activity and influence and interference being more than we saw in 2018, and specifically Chinese attempts at influence, we should expect it. We should absolutely expect that foreign actors will attempt to influence and that they will interfere. But to be very clear,
Here's
Before
the
we hear the rest of
solution, dude. Here's the solution. Everybody goes to their local schools in the county, wherever the fuck you are. You stand in a line, you walk up, you fucking fill out the ballot right there. Or maybe you do it 5 in a line or 5 in a row, and you have a monitor. Somebody's standing there, and then there's heavily cameraed. Who cares? Your vote is being noted. Like they're gonna have to do this. Some kind of like military entrance boot camp style. Step into the box, get your shot. Step into the box. Like it's with voting. Like there's
It's
no
sad
way.
that
It's
it
too
has to
loose.
be that way, but yes, I mean, Javier
They should make
Milei.
it. They should make it a national holiday.
Javier
Yeah.
Milei
Yeah,
was-
absolutely.
They had their
Fuck
votes.
Columbus Day. Make it Voters Day.
Right.
-1
there ain't
add
no
1.
point in Columbus Day. But no, Javier Milei, they had their vote in one day. They counted the ballots in one day. All paper ballots, no electronics and anything like that. You're telling me they can do it, but we can't?
How can we do it in
Show up.
1964? We can get it done in one day. In 2024, we can't do it in fucking 2 weeks. Like, are you
Well,
cut?
because we've let 3 million people that we don't even know who they are.
Like how it took what?
Except
Hanging
that one
Chad,
guy that wants to be known.
It took Hanging Chad one week to figure that out, and then but now with fucking automated voting, they're like, well, we haven't figured. Listen, we might not go until 2027 where we can't figure out who won the 2022 election. Like, what
Dude.
the fuck?
The telling part in this whole damn thing, if you would paid attention to what she said, she's like, okay, 2016 was rife with some bullshit. 2020 was fair and free, and it was the most secure. And then the woman's like, okay, so there was a lot of influence in the 2022 midterms, the red wave that never happened. It was worse than it was in 2018. How the fuck are you going to sit there and tell me 2016, 2018, 2022, and now expect 2024 to be bad, but 2020, nothing happened? Seriously. How can you make that fucking argument? You gonna sit there and tell me that just because you wanted Trump out, that you did everything correctly and then fucked it up 2 years later?
Bah.
Now, listen to what she says about 2024. Expect it. Heavily expect China to fuck with our elections. But
Clear. Americans should have confidence in the integrity of our election infrastructure because of the enormous amount of work that's been done by state and local election officials, by the federal government, by vendors, by the private sector since 2016, since election infrastructure was designated as critical infrastructure. It's that work that should make the American people confident in the security, resilience, and integrity of the American election system.
So 2016 was they've boosted it up since 2016. 2018, 2020 definitely was real, guys. It was the actual 2022, 2024, maybe good until fucking they announced Donald Trump as the winner, and then they go right back to the election integrity was China did it. China did it. And you're like, wait a minute, and then you'll have the people who don't watch things like we do.
We will win. We will win re-election. There is too much at stake, and the American people know it.
Here's the thing, though.
They will win, dude.
Here's the thing, though.
They know it.
Donald Trump wins. China did it. Joe Biden wins. Safe and secure. However,
Satan did it.
Who has connections to China through his fucking son?
Hunter Biden.
No, it's way too fucking obvious at this point. It is way too obvious at this point. It's all rigged. It has been. I've gone back since World War II looking at every election. And every damn one, you realize that George W. fucking Bush won his second term because he sued one fucking county in one fucking state? Like, how the fuck is that a thing? All right, seriously, how the fuck can you sue one county in one state and claim presidency?
Hanging Chad, man. Hanging Chad.
They're just blatantly telling us the shitty truth at this point.
Oh.
Did you know at this point, like, we're screwed. This is all going down, dude. Christmas night, y'all can look this up. Christmas night, midnight Eastern Standard Time in the United States here. The sun gave off a solar whip flare so strong it could have caused a blackout to over 80% of the globe.
Yep.
An
and that has
EMP.
happened 4 times within the last 2 years.
It missed us somehow, some way by splitting us and the moon. It whipped a line of radiational solar flare. Look this up. It happened Christmas night. We could have
Yep.
all fucking perished. It's bananas.
It's happened 4 times within the last couple of years. Our magnetic field has been weakening, which means more energy from the sun is hitting the planet. Guess what? Global warming?
Yeah, but what
Never
about
mind the fact that it's been a cycle.
what's the company that's playing around with photon beams and shit that caused the black hole back in 2012 that conspiracists think that threw us into another dimensional time rift?
That was
That's why we have the
Large
Mandela
Hadron
effect.
Collider.
What is it again?
The LHC, Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah, what is that company?
CERN.
CERN. Yes.
The one that makes the fake clouds.
No, CERN is playing around with.
Yeah, that's a big ass ring in
a ring
underground in Europe that covers almost all of Europe. Yeah, and
it's
they're
a
just shooting
large
particles
mass,
as
like
fast as they
Elon
can.
Musk sized tunnel, dude. And what it contains is like a radiational beam. I'm trying to think of the scientific terms of all this, but you guys can look this shit up too.
Well,
CERN made an oopsie in 2012 and possibly did something with our.
I mean, what about that dude that stuck his head in the CERN and had photons go through his head?
I'm good on all that.
They've had so many accidents.
Is he green when he's angry now?
No, but he is.
He keeping his jeans on, dude.
We know each other from work.
He's more fucked than Joe Biden. So there's that. But no, it's like everything just kind of it did fall apart as soon as that thing happened in 2020. But let's see what you got. Yeah,
there you are.
Sun emitted a strong solar flare peaking at 4:55 Eastern on December 31st, 2023. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory, which watches the sun.
I'm sorry, it's midnight.
Captured the image of the event. Look at fucking that.
That has happened 4 times in the last, I believe, 2 years.
She looks angry.
Now, for somebody that has firsthand seen an EMP test for a handheld grenade device.
Well, not a handheld, but I've seen it.
Shuts down literally electrical starters on your vehicle. Inoperable. Fries the circuitry in them. Melts the aluminum. So there's no more lead connection there. It will literally just like completely fry out the leads on your batteries. Your phones will not work. You will lose Wi-Fi. Navigational systems are gone. Radio frequencies are interrupted. You might get lucky to get something, but it's all you're going to hear is an emergency broadcast alert. Like
If that.
So what I've been saying the last couple of days with all this shit going on, 3 million migrants who we have no idea where they're coming from. You know, rival countries that are threatening war left and right. You know, the entire country of Africa, a lot of people don't realize, like, almost the entire state of Africa, Egypt is included in Africa, by the way, is Muslim belief, Muslim religion, Muslim belief. And they feel very salty with what's going on as well in Gaza and Yemen and everything, and Iran and all that. So, I mean, we're just opening our arms to these people, and we're giving them a cell phone. And we're going, like, they're telling us, like, it's votes. Then you got the World Economic Reform talking, you know, overnight changing our economic system. But then they're also bringing up this whole UN Disease X shit, preparing and displaying models on how to tackle Disease X. And Disease X already has results on its death rate and shit. It's more deadlier than, you know, the original corona, you know, COVID virus. Like,
meanwhile, they're actually trying to vote to see if we give away our sovereign rights for the next pandemic that they've already been planning. Do y'all remember
the people with the pricks
vials that were found in Philly? FBI said they were investigating. Never heard shit from that. Monkeys from that lab got away. Woman got sick. All of a sudden,
every
monkeypox starts
anthrax
popping up.
case was buried. Like everything was buried.
Dude. that was bad.
It's like heightened scare for 2 days.
At that point.
Here's something to be scared about for 2 days.
Well, that's all the fucking news is now. The news is just doom and gloom. Like, I saw a picture of they compared the temperatures in Europe, and it was like 31 degrees Celsius all over Europe, 30 degrees, blah blah blah. It was all green. And then 2 years later, it's the same temperature, but everything's all red now. And like, look at the
dude.
global warming. It's warming up the whole atmosphere. It's like, what the like? It was just the same thing. And they're trying
What
to
about the
Mandela effect.
whistleblowers coming up about the laser high energy weapon projects that they're just testing around, dicking around, just shooting into the Earth's crust? And they're like, whoa, we just caused an earthquake in New Zealand. Holy shit, now there's a volcano there. Oh, we did cause like literally. You can search this as well. It's all declassified. These weapons, the trademark models and the patents on the designs on these things, like literally.
The green lasers over Hawaii, and then a couple months later,
the blue
there's a
roof,
big
metal
wire
roof
fall
theory
or
on all these wealthy
wildfire.
homes.
Yeah,
the blue light redacts the I don't know, like the blue color redacts the energy.
About the Maui fires, what was it? It was blue and red was the only thing that was not affected.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
it's
else
like a 3D movie. Green,
everything
yellow,
around anything
spectrum.
that was blue and red was burnt to the fucking ground. But blue and red were the only things that weren't touched.
Well, how
What the
like
fuck?
the burn lines stopped at property lines and shit.
Oh yeah.
Like you're telling me that guy was out next door with a garden hose? No, he couldn't have because they shut the water off when the fire started.
Just so happens that they shut the water off as the fire started. Like, oh, it just happened. Like, fuck you.
All because supposedly a storm 50 miles off the coast caused power lines to go down.
And then they already have that whole area labeled as like what was Gates calling it? That he trademarked some kind of like smart world design or smart
smart city,
smart complex, smart city.
Yeah.
And he's already got blueprints and like we could put it here if a perfect world. And then literally 6 months later, they're all like,
oh yeah,
what a convenience.
That's like what was it in 2010? They were like, what if we role play that we started a pandemic where we tell everybody just to sit at home, we pay them to sit at home, and then then we start a global pandemic, and then we bring everybody back slowly but surely. Oh, that didn't happen in 2010, did it? Oh,
nope.
Yeah, yes, it did. It absolutely fucking did.
I need everybody to continue to remember from these, these sovereign states and whatever you want to call them, blue states, whatever. Like I live in a blue state. It's COVID. Like I was delivering food and friends with like many of these, these elderly home nurses and stuff. And to hear the horror stories and like our policies on like keeping people at a distance and shit. Meanwhile, our governors with fresh face tan, Botox, fresh, outfit on. Husband's launching his boat out in the Great Lakes, and meanwhile, we can't even go to the beach or enjoy any of our
That bitch wrapped up fucking garden tools. She wrapped up garden tools and fucking and like you were only allowed to get certain things, and everything else was saran wrapped. Like you motherfucker. Then they were telling you couldn't garden. Don't go outside and make your own fruits and vegetables. I'm sorry. I just watched eggs go to $37 a carton, and you don't want me to grow my own fucking tomatoes?
Yeah.
Eat ass.
It was wild, dude. And like California, the Pelosi getting her hair cut.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That
and then
was
she tried to say that the woman set her up.
It was just the smug responses. Meanwhile, there are people working overtime that can't get time off. People are sick left and right, or people are even afraid to be like coughing around other people. It was just like, it felt like hopeless. It felt like Thanos snapped his fucking fingers. Nobody knew what to do.
I was so happy with it because I couldn't cough, but I could fart all over the place and nobody gave a fuck. It was just like, oh, at least you didn't cough. I'm like, that's right. I coughed out of my ass and you didn't care.
Meanwhile,
smell that through your mask.
Meanwhile, China's anal swabbing our diplomats.
Oh my God.
Y'all remember that shit?
Yeah.
I remember them like fucking hosing people down if they were caught outside with like chemicals and shit.
Yeah.
People in orange suits coming by in a truck.
They were literally blocking off buildings, not literally putting up
plastic
boards so people couldn't leave buildings. And then wasn't there a fire in one of the fucking buildings? And the people fucking just incinerated because they blocked off everything. Then they made a movie about it.
Well, now here we are 4 years later. 4 years later, what was the election? 2020? 2020.
We're 4
we
years
literally were leaving off of Trump's, like Trump was throwing his hands up. He's like, holy fuck, the states are all kind of take like nobody's listening to me. Nobody's like everybody's kind of doing their emergency thing, and then boom, the election, boom, January 6th happened, boom, all bam, bam. Meanwhile, we're still going through the COVID crisis and shit. It was just
and so Biden goes to a fucking an auto show and says, "Hey, it's over," and nobody gives a fuck anymore.
Well, yeah, and then it turns out, the numbers 4 years later, the vaccine is showing signs of like almost like sickle cell in people's bloods with spiked.
Dude, listen.
Proteins and shit.
We will go to
causing blood
Rumble.
clots.
We will go to Rumble and we will talk about what Rich found out. It's fucking astonishing, dude. He called this. He called this. What was it? A year ago? A year and
a half now.
A year and a half ago. He called what's going on right now. He called it a year and a half
Wait
ago.
until
We have
this
recording.
Disease X, dude.
Well,
Disease X is going to... So I'm going to call this right now. Disease X is going to start somewhere overseas. And unfortunately, it came with the migrants. And it's been now hit into Chicago, New York. The spread is going to hit us that way. And it's either going to be pre-election or post-election.
I don't even
what
know.
the fuck was that, dude? Fucking
balloons just rose up.
You said, "I'm going to call this now," and balloon just went
float down here, Georgie. Like, what the fuck, dude? Now I'm creeped out.
The feds are fucking with you. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading off to Rumble.
Good. I'm going to go rumble with my thing in the bathroom.
Okay, well, we got 3 minutes anyway. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and give you a little snippet. And PBS says that the January 6th committee was all a publicity stunt. We got some shit to get into. You got 3 minutes. The link is right there. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, the mainstream narrative has become cancerous to society. Currently, there is no known cure, but doses of other treatments have shown some promising results. Off-label use has been authorized.